Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Big Dick's back.
I'm not having that. Sorry, right. Let me just. Sean Bell's here and James Farley's here.
Hello.
We're all back together again. Matt, see, I surprised myself. I was supposed to leave you till last.
I thought I'd be last too.
Right. But at what point did you think saying Big Dick's back in 2024? I mean, it's bad enough that we're four white dudes talking about video games.
I thought about it earlier in the car and it made me laugh. It just made me laugh when I thought about it in the car.
Is that what you think about in the car?
I just thought, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? Instead of saying, all right.
I suppose you were right, Matt.
Yeah.
I suppose you were right. Anyway, welcome back, Big Dick.
Oh,
Please
wait,
make
let's
that. Please make
need to
that
be
the
vulgar, Dave.
episode title.
Big Dick's back.
Big Dick's back.
Big-
You could get away with that. That's all right, isn't it?
Well, let's do it then.
that noise.
I don't know, I'm in a funny mood today.
I was
You've
going to
been
say,
drinking again.
Dave, you can't have a go at Matt. He's been going through some stuff.
Yeah, actually, Dave, if it's all right with you.
Yes.
Right.
It's not stopped me before,
Hang
Sean.
Don't preempt the news.
Oh, good
No,
one.
sorry, yeah, no,
Okay,
spoilers.
right, okay, let's get to the Patreon producers this month. I love each and every one of these people. They're the Full Nels crew. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S. I always balls up with that one, Tom. You've done me with that, Thomas. I really struggle with it. Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, Jack Oven, Jonathan Edwards, and two new Full Nels members. One of them's returning. We've got No Longer a Freeloader and Grey Dragon Claw. Thank you so much for going Full Nels. If you, like No Longer a freeloader, decide to actually pony up for a change, then you can do so by going to
Pay it
patreon.com/.
Give something back to the world.
I love
By going to
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 drinks, 55. Patreon.com/TCGS. Different tiers. We'll be doing our. Matt's just suggested that we all come to the bonus show with spooky stories again this month, and I am all for that.
Hell yeah.
After last year's spooky story podcast, I'm kind of up for a repeat of that. So that'll be happening this month. We also, if you missed it, we had our talks over of Game Stars, which was a sort of a weird awards show from the early 2000s, hosted by my friend and yours, Ian Lee. And he joined us to have a talks over with it. We talked over that show, and it was quite interesting, wasn't it?
It was great,
It was really good.
That's now available on our YouTube channel. So if you missed that, please go to YouTube. You can watch us talks over it on our channel, or you can watch it without us talking over it over on Ian's channel. Just search Ian Lee, and I'm sure it's up there somewhere.
I mean, obviously it's better on that one because we're on that one.
It is because of the banter, Matt.
Yeah.
What was even better than the banter was James unable to work his computer once again.
That was great.
That was
leading to a
incredibly
20-minute
stressful.
delay. Oh,
was
yeah,
Funny as well.
yeah. It was quite fun. Do you know? Oh, you don't know what happened, do you, Sean?
No.
So
Go
so basically the show finished, everyone said goodbye, and I stayed on with James just for a little bit, just to check in to make sure that he wasn't genuinely angry because we were taking a piss out of him, and he wasn't. But he did say that it was never fixed, and every time we paused it afterwards, he had to reconnect. No, so
I had to
So if you
reload
watch-
it every time. And
there's
so
times where we're like, no, pause this, Matt, and then James is like,
not again.
I felt really bad because then I just felt like I wasn't on it because I was just so like, have they paused it? I don't know if they paused it or not. And so I was just like, to keep reloading it. I can't say anything.
While we're talking about covering up mistakes, we didn't get any mention about the audio last week.
right, I don't want to be a dick, But the moment I listened to it, I was like, this is really bad. Like, the audio quality is really bad. It was doing my nuts in. I think I would have still noticed if I hadn't have known.
If you didn't
But
know.
do you want to explain what happened? Because your text messages last week were well funny.
It was one of those. I thought I could not mention it and see, but then if you spotted it, then it's really embarrassing to then be like, oh, actually. So I don't know. I'm just gonna get out ahead of it. So I was about to start doing the edit last week, and realised I've got like 100 episodes worth of my own audio files right now. This is ridiculous. I need to clear these out. This is fucking stupid. Why have I still got all these? Don't need them. Delete them all. Windows is like, it's too big for the recycle bin. Sure you want to do it? It's just going to be gone forever. And I'm like, yeah, of course. What's the big deal? It doesn't matter, does it?
What's up, baby?
Selected that week's audio along with everything else, didn't I? Gone. Completely fucking gone. And I was like, well, Audacity will have the backup. But no, Audacity, I'm pretty sure if you actually save the file, Audacity then like flushes the backup. So that was gone as well. So yeah, I basically had to use the audio from the Twitch recording and then just sort of did sort of the normal sort of dynamic compressors and stuff on that, which seemingly I got away with. No one commented.
No one mentioned
and I
it.
thought someone
from
would,
the Twitch
because
stream.
people, like, even if it's not necessarily worse, some people be like, oh, did someone else do the edit this week? It sounds,
Yeah.
because people are so used to how it sounds. But yeah, not a single comment on that.
Great work.
So there was a couple of things I want to ask you. The first, like, what is that? Do you have that feeling of when you realise what you've done?
Oh god, yeah, the self-loathing is just.
Oh god, you're just like, I just want to go back 2 minutes and go. Just think about it. Just think about what you're doing
just
right
put,
now.
Put your hand on your own hand and be like, are you sure?
Right, okay. This is like not the same, but the moment I always go back to with that was I got an ironing board cover which had one of those drawstring iron board covers, so I put it over the top and I pulled it really tight and I was like, yes, it all works, it's all fine, and I tied it all up and I thought, oh, that little string hanging down's a bit annoying, so I just cut it, which then made it ping open and I had no way of closing it again. I just went, Joe was going, who cares? It was like £5, just order another one. But I'm sitting there just going, I'm such a fucking idiot. Yeah, why am I so stupid, Joe? I shouldn't have to spend £5 on another one, Joe. So, I know that feeling. Secondly, how much of you now is going, let's just do that every week?
I'll be honest, it was a really easy edit. It was.
Let's just do that every week now. Let's not bother. Well, we can't because we mentioned it on the show, and now people will whether they heard it or not, they will go, actually, this doesn't sound as good, so that's that. Right, let's get on to feedback. Matt, you must have 2 weeks of notes in front of you, I hope. And
I
not
do have
just
a lot.
Really good shows.
No, I do have a lot, actually, yeah.
I see, because I was wondering about this, because you don't usually come with a lot of notes on the shows that you're not on. And I was thinking, Matt picked up on that one bit of feedback that we got where it's like, David does really good notes when he's not on the show. And I thought Matt is going to take that to heart.
I wrote twice the amount for 420 and I did 41. But I still wrote notes.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I don't have a PS5 Pro pre-order, which I know everyone is probably thinking, oh, Matt's probably got one. No, I just haven't.
Yeah, I did put the feedback about that in for this week.
I think because it went on, like, pre-orders happened and then there's like a massive queue on the PlayStation Direct website and I was like, I can't be bothered. I mean, can you get them from regular places? I'm sure you probably can, right?
I think you can, yeah, you can order them, like... Yeah,
it's not a good time for me to make big purchases, as we'll so no, I haven't bothered. I mean, the anniversary edition.
The news, Matt. We're
fucking hell.
Forward to the news.
The anniversary.
Fucking bollocks, this is.
Yes. The anniversary edition. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I think you said like, oh, it looks fine, or you weren't that bothered. I think. I know it's just a great console, but I think it looks lovely.
It's just a different colour. I'm pretty sure but
even like the box. Even the box has got the old PS1 design. It's just, I think they've done a great job with that. I just think it looks lovely. Yeah, the actual kind of
the cardboard box.
Yeah. But like just the fact that's like the PlayStation 1 design. No, not for me. I like to keep it out and look at it.
That's where your £1,200 going then.
Well, anyway, I didn't. I haven't pre-ordered one. But no, I mean, I actually, in fact, I'm not really tempted with any of the things, but I would like the console. But the Portal, nah. pad, no. But the console looks just so nice. Okay, let's get on to the main.
You are a marketer's wet dream, aren't you? You could be just, I mean,
Damn.
anything.
Which
Just, if you whack
employers
it
might
new
want to
on-
bear in mind.
Yeah. Down straight. I am, yeah. Okay, let's get on to this is probably the biggest bit of feedback, but I'm doing this in order of the show. I didn't say yoke. The next bit of feedback was...
But you did say
Yeah.
yoke, Matt.
No,
That's the
okay,
problem.
right. So, obviously,
You said
2 weeks,
that's-
3
right,
weeks, 3 weeks
sorry.
ago, right? Gone.
3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
there was a moment on the show where we were talking about long cutscenes.
Yeah.
And I brought up the cutscene in Metal Gear Solid where you sat and watched them cooking an egg. And then Sean starts talking, and in the background, Matt goes, and that was the yolk.
No,
And then,
that's not what I
hold on. Then a little while later, yeah, I said, Matt, don't ever say a joke like that again. That was awful. And you went, I didn't say it. And I was like, have I misheard? What have I done? Afterwards, I went back and watched it, and you literally say that is the yolk. And that's
No,
the
I
yolk.
that's the
literally
thing,
do not say that.
I've watched it back several times, and
So have I.
and it looks that's the yoke.
It might
does
sound
really-
like that,
It does really sound like that.
but that's not what I said. And even
Then
if I
what
did
did you
say
say?
that, like, no. Let's read like deconstruct this. I'm pretty proud of most things I say on this show. I'm not, and I think you said this, James, right? I'm not the kind of person to say I didn't say that. Like, if I said it, I would lean into it and say, yeah, that's why I said it. That's the reason. It's great comedy. Maybe up your game yourself and you understand the kind of things I'm trying to say with that gag. It wasn't that. Here's
No,
what I
but
was.
I think you
but hang on,
forgot.
but-
I think you forgot that you said it.
No. Because at the time I was like, I didn't say that because I literally did not say that's the yoke, and that's why I
no-
didn't remember because I didn't say that fucking word, James.
But the other thing about that is you're saying that like normally you'd lean into it and you'd be you'd be
Yeah.
happy to admit it, right?
Yes.
But the thing is like I saw David's face when you said that, and he looked so disappointed. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that happens every
I
week on the show. I'm not bothered about that either, James.
but like particularly disappointed. And I just wondered whether maybe you saw that and were like, that was too much.
No, if anything, that means I've struck a chord. That means I've really done a good one. Here's what happened. You were talking about, was it like the Hideo Kojima like cutscene, right?
Correct.
What I was saying was, well, here's the full words I was trying to say, but I stopped myself. Were, and that's the opening credits. I think because the implication, right? So what I stopped myself and I said, and that's the yoke, and that's the yoke. Which sounds like that's the yoke, but what I was actually saying, that's the opening credit. That's the yoke. That's what I was going to say because that's what I fucking said.
What's the opening credits? What?
No, because we're talking about Kojima. No, yeah, well, it wasn't. That wasn't even a good gag.
Hold on,
but
wait,
what
I've
I was
got it.
saying
Hold on,
was,
hold on,
you
one
can put us up
wait,
all you
wait,
want,
wait,
David.
listen,
I didn't
listen,
say that's the
listen.
fucking yoke.
I mean that's the yoke's better, to be honest.
Wait,
it probably is.
Hold on. Just. I've been through a lot of Metal Gear games.
Well, I was going to say,
Where it's like, well, it's 45 minutes, someone cooking an egg, and you get to the end of it, and you're like,
but didn't
fucking
Metal
what
Gear
was
Solid
that?
4 give you
Opening credits.
I don't-
And that's the opening credits.
I don't know why. I don't know why this is the joke. that
I
you're not.
did not fucking say that's the yoke. That doesn't make sense. What's the joke there? Someone else will explain the joke because.
Because it's a pun on the fact that I just said eggs.
Yeah, it's like making
No,
eggs and stuff.
and that's
This
the
is-
yoke.
This is what you do.
That's not what I do. They're not puns,
Like
they're quips. They can everyone just get us right. They're not puns, they're quips. No, puns are like, puns are wank. Like, I'm much better than that. Like, and that's the
all you do
opening
is
credits, is what I was trying to say, but I stopped myself.
Okay. Do I bring this up? So
Bring it up.
yes, I do. Sean used a tool recently where you can upload loads of episodes of the podcast to an AI thing and then ask it questions about the show. Sorry if I'm breaking confidentiality agreements.
Okay, this is good. This
And
sounds like bonus
one of
show
the things he
material.
asked it is, I said, "Who's the funniest?" Asked it, "Who's the funniest?" And it wouldn't say who the funniest was, but it did say what everyone's comedy style was like. And Matt's,
Oh my
it was
God.
like Matt's is puns.
No,
That's
do you
literally
know
what it
why?
is.
Do you know why it fucking says that? Because you keep saying puns, and it's I read it, and it thinks like puns, Michael's puns. That's why. The AI knows fuck all. It's just
You
because like
don't
Matt's
love
puns,
what it
Matt's
said.
puns, Matt's puns, and this sounds a
what it
bonus
said
show
when I
material.
asked about.
This is great. I didn't know you
love
did
puns,
this.
Good.
though.
I don't have a well. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. I'm
Go
better
on,
than
hold
that.
on, Sean. Go on.
So okay, so yeah, this is Notebook LM. This is Google's supposedly like research focused AI tool.
I hate AIs.
Bearing in mind, yeah, I've got feelings about AI. I've got
He loves it. He wants to marry an AI. Okay, so bear that in mind.
Why not? Yeah, but I thought, you know what? Uploading a load of episodes of the show just to see what it comes out with might be funny.
Did you get our permission to do it?
That's a
bit new.
it's publicly available. It's fine. Did Matt say that's the yoke? The sources provided compelling evidence that Matt did indeed say that's the yoke. In the transcript,
I forgot about this.
Proof that AI is a twat. Go on.
In the transcript from TCGS 420.mp3, there is an extensive discussion about the incident. A listener even wrote in to complain about Matt's unbelievable gaslighting and demand an apology for his denial. Despite Matt's absence and inability to defend himself, the other hosts are in agreement about what happened. It's great because none of this is actually evidence.
Yeah, this is just summarising.
It's just
a summary.
It kind of highlights how shit the tool is, really. But
accurate, I think.
They recount how Matt initially said that's the yoke, but later denied it, much to the bewilderment of the other hosts, particularly David.
This is evidence. This won't get you anywhere in court.
Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? And you get the idea.
Yeah, anyway, yeah. So, and that's the opening credits, is what I was going to say. Admittedly,
we're going to have to have a Twitter vote, right? We're going to have some sort of vote.
We don't have to do anything because I know what I said, and that's the truth.
Well, I mean, it's easy for you to say that, but I know what you said, and that's the truth.
But
too.
so do I, because it's my brain and mouth that said it.
Yeah,
it was my ears that heard it.
I didn't. Do you hear like the K from yoke? You don't. You see it. You hear like, and that's the yoke.
I don't hear the P from opening either. To be fair, Matt.
No, because it's like, and that's the yoke, which sounds like yoke. Anyway, so I didn't fucking say it.
I'm still sticking with there is no reason why Matt would not own this if he had.
Exactly. Sean knows a bit, and you two do.
No, he's sorry.
Fully proud of much worse jokes than this.
Yes, he is, but he didn't deny saying those jokes and then has been caught out because of the tape.
What? Hardly. It's an audio.
I think, as I said, I think he just knows that it's so bad that he.
No, because it's not a joke. There was no jokes there.
They're like all your other jokes, man.
No, somebody's
it was consistent. It was consistent with.
And that's the yoke.
If this is your first episode of the computer game show, I'm so sorry. Hey, I want to hear what these guys think about Zelda. I'm so sorry.
I've got so many more.
Give it 5. I would say give it 5 episodes before
you're not allowed to dislike us.
It's okay. I'm back. I'm back now. So we'll be a downside better. Because I will say, I mean, like you three do know we're up for an independent podcast award, right? And yet the judges could have been listening to the last 2 weeks, and it was, you need to. The humour wasn't where it needs to be. I think.
Yeah,
now I'm back. I think it is going to be a downside better, but I really think you need to.
No, Matt. There's just going to be more puns. It's not that the humour's going to be a damn.
They're not puns. They are quips.
Matt's
you can say that as much as you want, Matt. They're always puns.
They're not always puns. They're not. Sorry, James.
No, so you're bringing the big dick energy.
Let's not make it crass.
We're not backpage pods. You can't use that.
Right. Okay. Should we move on? I do like donuts with chocolate bars on and stuff in McFlurries. Let's move on. I think there's like a discussion about the fact you hate, like, some of you weren't fans of like donuts with huge things on top. I love that. Love a bit of novelty.
Again, you're the extreme guy. Like you would never be able to go to a burger place and order a cheeseburger. It would have to be the ultimate ridiculous burger.
That is so me.
Slabs of feta on it.
That is so correct. Yeah.
So 8 burgers in it. They're like, no sir, this is for 4 people. And you're like, oh, Matt Murray.
Yeah.
This is what
and that's the yoke. Up yours, dickhead.
I also choose always the special, whatever it is in those places, and they always end up disappointed.
Yeah, if I go to McDonald's, I never order the standard menu because you've got to be an absolute idiot to do it. Always go the special.
I only order a Big Mac meal. That's all I do in McDonald's. Only a Big Mac meal, because sometimes I'll try something else and I'll go, this isn't as good as a Big Mac. And always regret it.
No, actually, the Philly cheese is really nice at the moment. We should move on because there's lots here. 35 minutes in, the padding in episode 420 was ridiculous. I've always criticised for padding the show, making it making it take longer than it needs to. The padding in episode 420 was just like, what's everyone else doing today? See anything good on TV?
Right. Matt, if you're going to pull us up on something, right?
Yeah.
When you pad, you asked James what Yakuza games he hadn't played and what Yakuza games he had played.
That was
right?
one time.
You're lying there. So how did we pad it? We didn't say what was good on TV.
No, but whatever it
What
was,
did
it
we
was.
say?
I think
What
it
did we
was
say?
all worthwhile content.
Yeah,
I
what did
think.
we say, Matt?
I mean, that's probably we talk about the chocolate bars and like things on donuts. It's like, bloody...
Is this all because of the yolk thing? Are you lashing
No,
out? in a silly way
not
because
lashing
of the
out.
yolk?
Don't bring up the chocolate thing because clearly you felt incensed enough to comment on it.
Well, I was just writing loads of notes at that point.
They call that engagement, Matt. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I don't know. How was the episode not called Stop That Feast? I don't know. I actually wrote down some of my quips here I would have said. But let's move on though. It's rubbish.
Please be puns. Say one of them.
puns, yeah.
No, so I can't remember.
Why are you laughing
I
then,
wish I said on the previous one, but I think Sean said the terms. Oh, this is stupid.
Say it.
Sean said the words like big cooks or something. Does that ring a bell, Sean?
Nope.
Big cooks. And okay, maybe this is a pun. And I was going to say they're not big cooks; they're little chefs.
Okay, Matt, you fucking hell.
Okay, that would have got a laugh.
And that's
Right.
what we've been missing the last 2 weeks. It's
No, it would not. No, it would not. Got a laugh.
Okay. Sean, you're talking about a cooking show or something about using about cooking using ingredients from different eras. Does that ring a bell?
You're listening to a different podcast.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all.
No,
And then
well,
Ainsley Harriott was a
I think
guest
you
last
should
week.
go back.
And
No,
what are you talking
yeah,
about?
I think you talk. No, have I misremembered? I'm fairly sure, Sean, you were talking about cooking using old ingredients. You fucking you were.
I'm not denying it, I just don't remember.
what is going on?
Okay,
What's
let's move
going
on.
on?
Anyway, it used to be a cooking show, Sean, where they used to use like ingredients from different eras, and it was really good. I think you really enjoy it.
Sean, what's happened here is that Matt, we got that feedback saying Dave does really good notes when he's not on.
It's
And
not
Matt's tried
about
to do it,
you.
but he's completely
just make stuff
misunderstood it. He's completely misunderstood it. He's just
Okay.
started writing shit
Let's
down.
move on to the next episode. Right, episode 421. I
Right, for the listeners, he's taking his jacket off because he's getting too hot. He's just taking his jacket off because he's getting too hot.
Right. Episode 421. I did take the feed down because I was getting annoyed by the show.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I didn't actually. I think that's. Oh,
Hold on. Wait. Did you? Real talk now. Did you resolve that issue?
Oh, yeah, because that was a twist in that. wasn't
I'm
there?
currently engaged with Podbean's customer support because they don't understand the question, and I'm like, are you charging me, or did I accidentally sign up for something I should have done? Anyway,
If
they
your
don't know.
email was anything like these notes, no wonder they fucking did.
No, it's a very sensible one. James was talking about banging on the table during German meetings.
Yeah.
I bang on the table at the end of every meeting, actually. That was a sex joke. That didn't really work. David,
How is that a sex joke?
because it
Banging on the
banging,
table.
David.
Oh,
Sometimes people call.
fucking hell.
Okay. Anyway, right. Okay. Right, let's move on because this is a wreck to start the show.
Is that one of your quips?
No, David, you said one of the funniest things you've ever
Is it a
said.
quip or a pun?
That is a great game we could play in future. You know, like a future TCGS con, quip or a pun.
I'll be up for doing that because I know what they are. Yeah, two last things. What the fuck was that cheese fact last week, Sean?
Oh, that was really good.
Okay. David, you said one of the funniest things you've ever said last week, and
Cheers, man.
what you said was, it's just the way you said it. It was like eating a coffee bean. Does that ring a bell? Just the way you said it.
Yeah.
It was like eating a coffee bean. I think it was the way you said it. I don't know why that made me laugh a lot.
Can't remember
What was that even about?
It was about someone just doing something needlessly, like taking things to the extreme to the point where it doesn't even make sense anymore. You know, that you can't just have coffee, you're just eating a coffee bean.
He's like eating a
Yeah,
coffee
thank
bean.
you.
Yeah, that
Are
made
we
me laugh
done,
a lot.
Matt?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. that is
yeah, great couple of
25 minutes
episodes.
in. Oh,
Great couple of
God.
eps.
Cheers, man. How are you? You alright?
Yeah, I've been better. Should we move on?
Well, news. No, I'm joking. Feedback.
Louis B. Matt will purchase a PS5 Pro within 2 weeks of the release of GTA 6. He will also purchase a stand and disc drive. I know it, you know it, and deep down, he knows it. You know what, Louis B? You're probably fucking correct. Yeah, I will want one, but yeah, it just depends where I am at the time.
Yeah.
I won't get the stand though because I don't have the stand when I had my current console vertical, so I don't think you need that, do you?
What?
I just took the stand off because it was getting in the way of my desk or whatever at the time, so I didn't bother with the stand even when it's vertical because I'm basically a rule breaker.
Renegade. Yeah.
I'm not sure you remember, David, but I'm the bad boy British podcasting, and I will not have a stand. If I don't want it, I don't use it. Up yours.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I do want one, but just not now. Idea for a feature has messaged Sean, in which Sean Bale removes his body hair. I'm up for this.
I mean, are we talking podcast or stream?
Has to be video.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Have
Has
you got
to
lots
be.
of body hair?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. I
Not where it
you
counts.
wouldn't have
though.
guessed.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what does that mean? Let's deconstruct that. What does that mean?
I'm just saying, certain areas are well looked after.
Right,
Amen
we're
to
not
that, boy.
sponsored by them. We don't need to talk about it. Some people get paid. Most video games podcasts will get paid to talk about it in
That's
this
true.
level of detail. We do not. Let's move on.
Alex Apron, hello, long-time listener, first-time writing in for Wisconsin, USA. I subscribe looking for a podcast covering computer games. I was not expecting computer games to be any game designed using a computer and not exclusively PC games. Regardless, I took a strong liking to your podcast, despite most of you lads talking about console games, despite Sean transitioning from PC gaming to being mostly a mobile gamer at this point. I listened to your entire backlog traveling through Europe, and while visiting some of the best museums in the world, I watch your live streams religiously now and keep up with the shows as soon as they're released. My question to you is, what was the first games that inspired your passion in gaming? Thank you, Matt, for your witty puns. They're not puns, they're... Alex,
Please,
they're
with
not...
every bit of feedback, can you edit it? Can you end it with "thanks for the puns, Matt"? Just constantly, please, please.
They're not puns, they're quips.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt, for your witty quips. James, for your distracted commentary. Sean, for your slightly misinformed takes. And David, for your commanding lead on the show. Keep up the good work, and thank you for your consistent entertainment. Alex Apron from Wisconsin, USA.
I mean, I can't pull a face of that. It's not the worst feedback I've had this week.
So yeah, I mean the whole computer game thing. I should probably explain. I think it was more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong with this. But I've always called. I always thought it was. Some people call them video games, and some people call them computer games. I never knew there was like a difference in that video games are console games. And computer games are for the PC.
I didn't know I was younger. They were always computer games. And as Shai says in the
All
chat,
of them were computer games.
Well, no,
right?
yeah, it just felt because I think it's a UK thing. Like they were just computer games. They're still kind of computer games in my mind, even though, USA was like video games. But I don't know. I've just always called them computer games.
But
It is funny that obviously some people see the distinction, and we've called ourselves the computer game show, even though we very rarely cover like PC.
Yeah, it's ironic. It's clever, isn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't entirely by choice, was it?
No.
Well, we were going to call ourselves the video game show, but it was too close to
We were going to call
someone's.
ourselves
No, there was
all
one
sorts
called-
of things.
There was one called
No.
the video game show already. Yeah, that's one.
No, it was called My Video Game Show, and we said that's too close, so we went with the computer game show
Yeah.
in the end. But TCGS sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds good,
damn
doesn't it,
straight.
Matt?
It works
That's why
damn
we
straight.
rebranded the fuck out of it.
Damn straight, boy. Okay, we've done that one, have we? Yes, we have. Luke always writes Summer Haze. Oh, I'm wrong, am I, James? Next time you go to China, I'm swimming over there and battering you. What happened here?
I mean, he's welcome to try the fucking bollocks.
What? Oh my God.
So,
What was that? What was that? Was that James? Was that you trying to be? Was that you trying to be hard?
did he call him a fucking bollocks?
I did,
That-
yeah.
Clip that for TikTok.
That was a very weird.
You fucking bollock.
Do you not know how to speak in an intimidating way?
I'll Try and find me, you bollocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't quite know how to react to that. Is that the tactic? Like, if you get in a
Luke, I'm
pod
so
brawl,
sorry.
do you just say weird shit like that so people
Yeah.
go, what? What?
I'm all right with it.
Exactly. It puts
wanna
people
fight
off
anymore.
guard, doesn't it? They just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
Okay.
This was in response to
I don't know.
Luke wrote in
I
saying
think
that
I'm on
that
a
new
podcast with him
Nintendo
anymore.
that new Nintendo patent was likely a Pokemon thing, and James was like, "Oh yeah, but Luke's always wrong or something." Or he's often wrong.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And now
Oh,
look.
right.
And Luke has
Well,
reacted badly.
there's egg on Luke's face after he
I mean,
called a
he's-
fucking bollocks by the doctor.
He's definitely going to be wrong. The fucking bollocks.
Okay.
Stop saying it.
Sorry, have you got better with someone else to say like this?
Yeah.
Has he messaged you to say, can you say fucking bollocks about 17 times in the episode, please?
No, it's no.
Okay. Next, please.
Yes, Saka White Rice has messaged, "Hi guys, been listening to your pods for years and I thought off some feedback as my thoughts have mounted up. Can't remember which episode it was, but Dave mentioned how he found planet names in games quite odd, which immediately reminded me of how real names can actually be ridiculous too. So most planets are named after Roman gods, Mars being the Roman god of war. Mars has 2 moons. Perfect. They can be named Romulus
I
and
thought
Remus.
they named it after the chocolate bar. That's mental. That's weird, isn't it? I thought. All right.
What's Snickers? The first 2 sons of Mars, nope. The moons of Mars are named Phobos and Deimos,
Deimos. Yeah.
Deimos, and are indeed sons of God of War, but Greek God of War Ares. Anyway, now that's out of the way, I can offer my feedback. Really love the show, and I often listen using my headphones while washing the dishes. I imagine other listeners listen hands-free as well. So when you're mentioning a game, please repeat the name of the game after you shared your experience, as sometimes I think, wow, that sounds good. What's it called again? I mean, my recommendation there is just rewind a bit.
Yeah, but he's saying he can't because
Yeah,
he's washing the
yeah, he's-
dishes.
Or-
Or to say like Siri rewind, doesn't he?
Or later on, have a look at the show notes
yeah.
that Matt
Or
does.
that, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
I
talk about 3 games a week. So you can usually
I'd put the
it down.
names of the games in the order we talk about them as well in the show notes. So you just
Why you
that's-
have the guy a sack of white rice? They've just said that they're really big fans. What's the matter
Well,
with you?
I'm just thinking if they were big fans, they would read the show notes as well.
Yeah, you need
No
to put
one,
more
re-
effort in.
no one reads the show notes. You're
Why
wasting
do I
your
bother
time,
writing
man.
them
does, he
then?
puts a lot of
No
effort to
one
them.
knows. No one asked you to do it. You
Yeah,
just-
it's the right thing to do. I'm happy to do it.
Oh,
Also,
we are aware of that, and we do try and do that. But sometimes, it's just when you're in like a sort of a high voltage jazz
I was gonna say it's
style
like jazz.
conversation as we are, you're on your feet all the time. You can't really. Okay. Yeah. What's the rest of the...
they carry on. Also, the outro music is too long. I often cue your next episode after the one I listen to, as I can't use my hands to change it, but I have to wait quite a while before the episode starts. That being said, keep up the great work, and I'll keep listening. Kind regards, Adam.
Actually, maybe I am on your side now, Matt. No, it's not too long. Listen to every second of it. Soak it in.
It's good.
Yeah,
Drink
2-minute
it
mix
in.
is
It's
great.
Yeah, man.
A 2-minute mix is the one. We had a bit of backlash about that a couple of years ago, didn't we?
Yeah, for the same
We
reason,
stopped doing
actually.
it, so we-
For the same reason.
and we
See,
just
I
found
always enjoy it because I only hear it occasionally. Like if I'm not on the show, which is very rare these days, then I'll listen back to the whole thing and I'll hear the outro music, and it's always a nice, pleasant surprise. Each time it's
When
like,
you
"Oh,
say
it's-
these days, do you mean this month? What are you talking about these
Yeah.
days?
it's been months, David.
These
It's been
days. I've not a break in so long, baby.
been months, David.
Since
This has been
September.
months off.
You've been off more
Wasn't that
frequently
long
than I have recently.
But it depends what you mean recently. Like if you stop it from the last time you come back, then
If I
yes,
stop it from the
had
last
to-
6 months, then yeah, it's been like that.
No, within the
What?
last 6 months, you've had about
When?
a month and a half off.
You had most
No,
of
I
the summer
haven't.
off.
I haven't. The last was off was in when was it? It was in June.
Well, that wasn't 6
Okay, that
months
was
ago.
that was
it,
4
Matt?
months
Less
ago.
than 6 months
Okay,
ago.
Come
but
on.
just forget it.
You're
Just
a
forget
doctor.
it.
James, are you
It's
on
been a long
cocaine
time.
tonight.
He is on cat again.
I've got a headache.
You fucking bollocks.
I've got a headache.
What's going on this week? This is a bad one. Go on.
It's a great one. What are we talking about?
I don't know if it is, Matt.
Big bad
What?
Gary Dutton, consistently proven to be UK's #1 Gary since 1983, has messaged, "Hi lads, I hope you don't mind. I was a little bit worried that the show description of last week's episode, so someone does read the show notes. Thank you. I hope you don't mind, but I was
Yeah,
a
but
bit
it's Gary,
worried.
So
It is Gary. Good point. Okay, I should stop doing it. I bet the show description of last week's episode was a bit inaccurate, and anyone tuning in under the age of 40 might end up being a bit disappointed and confused. So I've taken the liberty of rewriting for it for you below. This week, the boys discussed James's favourite strength of cheddar, the serious bit in a Talent on TV episode, World War II, office, workplace customs, and Ecketetten, Germany, and acid reflux. Yours forever, Big Bad Gary Doon, UK's #1 Gary.
He's saying
Thanks,
we're
Gary.
old.
Yeah,
We are though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
that is a fact.
That's playing on my mind.
And
Go
so
on.
is Gary. So I don't know what his point is.
Yeah, glass houses, Gary. We're all getting on a bit.
Yeah, you're not young like me. The #1 Gary since 1983.
Yeah, how did I pronounce etiquette then?
You said Ecketet.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
yeah, that's a bit embarrassing.
Shame.
That is a real
No,
shame,
you're not going
actually.
back now.
Was that a quit?
It's all right. Next week you
No,
just say
that
you
was a pun.
didn't say that. That's
No, because I
that's the
did.
tactic
That's the
these
difference here, because I did actually admit that, and just the Ton Dog. Hi guys, regarding creative games as a jumping off point to properly getting into a field, I can honestly say my experience with MTV Music Generator on the PlayStation was pivotal. Here was a creative tool that genuinely tricked me into thinking I was playing video games. It jump-started my interest in music production, coupled with Music 2000 on PlayStation, Magic's Music Maker on PC, before I got into Logic Pro, Pro Tools, and ultimately Reaper. I'm now proud to say I produce music and sound at the very least on a semi-professional scale. I believe getting anyone, especially younger people, interested in a skill without it's all about them meeting where they are, and in my world, that was through video games. Keep up the amazing work as always.
It's yeah, that sounds like a good way to get a pad in your hand, doesn't it? Like that's the first thing that it done. But while you were reading that, I just remembered, you know, Alex Apron, who emailed in earlier, we just completely ignored their answer about what was the game that inspired your passion for gaming.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do apologise about that.
Talk over that, but I suppose it is related to this, because if that's the game that inspired the Ton Dogs passion for gaming, what was the one? I'm most interested in James' answer for this. What was the one game where you went, not just I like video games, like, because that's different, right? But the one game where you like, nah, this is it now. This is it for me. That's
I mean, I like the first ones I played, but one of the early ones I remember was playing.
sound different, James.
Oh, so I didn't think you wanted him to go first. I just thought you were interested in it.
Okay,
Go on, James.
Go on, go on, what's yours?
No, I don't want to answer
James
now.
isn't listening. Don't worry about it.
No,
Go
no,
on,
I'm
what's
thinking.
yours?
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll all think.
I do actually
See,
know my answer. Is it?
Oh, go on.
It's got to be an N6. It's probably GoldenEye. It's probably GoldenEye.
Really,
for
that
me,
late?
was the one that.
Sean sounds different.
Oh God, yeah, no, but I'm saying, yeah, like I was into video games way before them, but they weren't like that. They weren't my life. Like that wasn't like, oh my God, I need to know everything. I need to read everything. I need to play everything. I think it was when we were playing GoldenEye regularly, and I just went, "There's nothing better than this." That I thought, actually, this is it now, isn't it? I fucking loved it because I had I played the SNES, played the Mega Drive, and I had my Atari ST and stuff. I played games, but there's a difference between playing games and then just having a passion for it. And I just remember those early first-person shooters that you would play with your mates, like GoldenEye, like Unreal Tournament, like Time Splitters when I was into that, and we were playing the iLink stuff. Then when Halo come out, it was like, what the fuck is going on now? That was when it was like, nah, this ain't going away. This isn't something I'm doing as a kid and then sort of dropping as I get older. This is it now. I'm going to be bang into this. That was what did it for me. James, come on, what is it? Civilization.
No, it wasn't. It's actually definitely much, much earlier than that, because I remember becoming like really super absorbed in like the entire thing from probably from like, I remember the game, one of the games that I first was really just hooked by was Choplifter, actually, which was, and it was the Master System version. Yeah, it's like a like helicopter rescue like kind of game. And I remember playing that around my mate's house, and I didn't have a console myself, but I remember playing it and just thinking, I need this in my life. Like I need to be able to do this in my life, because it feels like, it was weird. It feels like I've come home. Like when I was this is exactly what I like. Like this is the whole my whole thing. And it was cool. I remember that. But I mean, there was a load of Master System games like that I felt like that about, like Astro Warrior and Yeah, just there's tons of really good ones.
Matt, yours was Astrobot Rescue Mission, I assume.
Yeah, it's the first game I've ever played, and it will always be special for me. No, mine was. I mean, I like enjoy my Master System and Mega Drive, but I remember playing the Metal Gear Solid demo and going into school. My mates like this game. You can like. I was actually feeling tense in like from a game. It wasn't just like me playing football games or racing games or just games which you can have played and enjoyed. I was actually like it actually invoked an actual physical reaction in me, and like I just remember being blown away by the fact that I was feeling tense in this game. And so Metal Gear Solid. The demo specifically when I first played that was a huge moment. But I knew I loved games before that. But that was a big early moment for me.
All
right. So I was definitely from when first game I ever played was Midnight Resistance, hence all of that carry on. But also and that was immediately was a big moment because it was just like holy shit, you can control the guy on the screen. This is unbelievable. But I would say probably Illusion of Time on the SNES, which is Illusion of Gaia in other countries. It's a Japanese RPG, but not in the typical sense. It's the combat's more sort of Zelda-ish. It's I don't know how well thought of it is now. I just remember at the time. Towards the end, it gets a bit timey-wimey and sort of transcendental, and it's like, oh, you're actually it's this fantasy setting, but everything you do is ushering in the modern age. And obviously, being fucking 9 at the time, just being like, oh my god, this is huge. This is it was a story on a scale I had not seen before, and the fact that I had played through it, and being an idiot child, it took me so long to get through it that it really felt like, oh, this has been months of my life getting through this, and it just I don't know the scale of it just seemed unbelievable at the time. So I think that was probably the one. It's probably rubbish now. It's probably a poor man's Chrono Trigger.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? You go back and play GoldenEye now, and it's like, oh god, this is so hard to even know what's going on at this point.
Can we do the socials now?
He is sassy this week, isn't he?
I know, isn't he? He's spicy. He's got his mate back. That's why. Got his little mate back, and
Me?
Matt.
Oh, okay.
Matt's like, I'm his mate.
I got a friend. Okay, Elliot. I follow me. You got abandon me. Okay. Elliot. I followed in Dr. Farlong's footsteps early this year and moved to Germany. I'm also an academic. Because there ain't no jobs in the UK, baby. I just want to confirm that Germans, or at least German academics, do pound the table rather than clapping. I found this out the hard way by being the only one who clapped a conference speaker and having to awkwardly swap to table pounding halfway through my applause.
Yep, done that.
Also, while I'm defending Dr. Boomstick, I just want to confirm that German apartments come with literally nothing in them. No kitchen, no light fittings, no curtain rails, nothing. However, I must say I'm surprised how long it took James to install curtains. Where those bad boys up by week 2, boy.
Week 2, though? That would be day
Even
1, surely, to keep light out.
Yeah,
surely that's
they're overrated. Curtains.
People to not see
Curtains
you
are
in the news.
overrated.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, the curtains are overrated. Yeah.
Everyone saw you drunk,
did you say that
James.
to Chen as she was staring you down? The one thing you haven't mentioned, Elliot, can you buy Valentine's Day cards or greeting cards after 5 p.m. anywhere in Germany?
And pepperoni pizza.
No, it was not anywhere in Germany. It was inside supermarkets. That was the thing. Do you know? I even recorded a video.
That wasn't the thing.
It was. It was. I was talking because you were like, you can get them from a supermarket, and I was like, you can't. They don't sell them. No, and I even went and I recorded a video inside my supermarket of the fact that there was no Christmas, any cards.
But I said,
or
are you telling me there's no shops that sell greeting cards after 5 p.m. in Germany?
I mean, obviously there were probably.
Well, there we go then.
But not in supermarkets. That's the point.
Right? No, that wasn't the point.
That's the point.
You can't say that's the point. That wasn't.
That was the point.
That was not the point.
That was
the point. That you
James, you're doing
Dave's
thing of trying to focus on one bit of the argument that you know doesn't quite work, when actually that wasn't the argument.
Sean's analysing me. Shut up, Sean. I've got Dave sussed. No, you fucking haven't. Next.
Okay,
Matt,
my
you
TV's
alright?
just turned off, so I'm going to look up here. This is Barry Squeeze Teeth. As suggested, I stood up and told everyone in the office that Mr. Bell's incredible cheese fact from the last episode. The reaction was so huge that I was promoted on the spot, and I'm now in way over my head with endless new possibilities that I'm not cut out for.
Hang on.
Responsibilities, even.
Before we go to this, Matt, why have you got a TV like on your ceiling?
No, I've got a monitor there.
What, on your ceiling?
No, the ceiling's there. It's just like above the TV.
Because the angle you're looking at, it looks like you're just looking at the ceiling.
Well, yeah. Well, the ceiling's there. The TV. There's a big old TV.
None of our listeners can see that.
Yeah, exactly, James. For
Absolutely
fuck's
pointless.
sake.
Go on,
Anyway,
want to know how big
Barry
the
is stressed. Sean, can you
Yeah,
help him?
Sorry, well, get a different job.
Is
Okay,
that
that's it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, go.
if you're going to repeat things I've said, everyone around you can just find you really impressive.
Okay, that is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs.
46 minutes in. Can we get to the news, please, Jack?
We've got so many questions as well, and they're actually mostly good.
Let's just do it. I mean, it's the first time we've all been together for a while. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got some not great news that's happened. Which, where is Matt? He's disappeared. Oh, he's there.
Right, just pause for a second. Pause for a second. Create an edit point. Edit point.
Right.
Matt's pulled out his mic now. Just edit point. Who's editing this week?
I can.
Can Matt? I can't.
So
Sorry,
I can.
I would. But I'm at
rather
work tomorrow.
Not, but I don't know what.
He's just
Matt's
giving us the
situation
thumbs up, so I'm assuming, yeah.
Can't hear him though.
No, what are you doing, Matt?
What's he doing?
It's all right. Don't worry. It's a little break in the old show. If you're watching us, Independent Podcast Awards. This is.
Can I just go and get some painkillers? I'll be a second.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
Weird thing to say.
told you he's on something. He's wearing trousers this week though. That's
Yeah, that's a bonus.
a bonus.
Got my old man Tanganga up behind me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want
is
any
that-
kids to break it, so until we move, and then Harry can put it on his wall. But oh, Jaff,
There he is.
there he is. What the fuck is going on?
Don't know.
Is that carpet back?
You all right, Matt?
Diamond carpet. Do you need to reconnect or something?
Might have to choose the audio device in video again.
You can't hear you, Matt. I don't know why you keep talking to
Okay,
it.
he knows. He knows.
The ladies' bras, the ladies' bras, the ladies' knickers and the ladies' bras.
Oh no, he's gone. How are you doing in the chat then? Any? How's it going?
Jesus Christ, that's weird. Okay,
Hey,
so
there he is.
like my
Hey.
TV and my audio stuff all fucked up at the same time. But I don't know, like,
Holy shit, Matt, we nearly had to talk to the chat.
but I don't know why the fuck doesn't like
there
it.
a
You can't find my PC.
power spike or something?
Maybe like all my monitors went off for a second, and now like my TV just doesn't seem to find my PC.
Yeah, that sounds like a power thing.
How can I fix this? The TV works, it's on, but it can't find it. Hang on, I'll unplug something. Hang on.
Technical Sean. That sounds like a power thing.
No, it's just sometimes if there's like a power dip or spike or
Surge or
whatever, usually like the PSU in like a PC can handle it, but other things like tellies and stuff might not.
It's fucking
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah, there was the TCGS fan meetup, wasn't there, this week?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've not mentioned that.
Yeah,
What
we never
the
will.
fuck?
It sounded like right laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wish I knew what people said about us.
Exactly, it's
Maybe
really
I
nice
could
you've
listen
organised this,
in.
but can you record everything?
Every
everyone says?
conversation. My ego needs to hear what they say.
So no, you don't need to ask people. Just just have your phone on you.
You don't need permission.
Yeah.
It's all right. I don't need names attached to the recording, so it's not identifiable. It's fine.
Although that would be helpful.
Yeah,
It's...
and addresses if you've got them.
I might just have
Takes
to
on
not do this. This is so fucking random. Why would it not find my PC?
That is very.
Nothing
weird.
has changed. I was
Are you gonna hard reset of the telly?
I did turn it off, but yeah, actually, I might fully plug it in. Jesus,
Yeah.
sorry, hang on.
Take your time. No
Are
rush.
we still
Are
recording?
we
Yeah.
stopping recording?
No. Let's keep recording. It's easier to do it. Yeah, and if you can hear me, I can edit.
Oh, thanks, man.
I was going to say, is that really bad then?
Brian says they decided who the best was.
Oh, that was me.
Was it?
Yeah.
That'd be James.
No, people say James is a joke.
Yeah. That's
I
the,
don't think they do.
The answer's me.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, you missed this, yeah.
Yeah, it must be like a power surge. That was very random, but it now cannot find my PC, and I don't even was staring up the whole bloody time. Fucking Jesus Christ! Hang on. Hit my switch. Why would it not work?
Could it be that your PC's not outputting to it? Like, have you got to check your display settings?
I mean,
It should just find it though. It shouldn't.
It should do, but it's also a Windows device, so sometimes you've got to sort of give it a kick up the
Nothing
arse.
wrong with Windows. Why are you slagging off Windows now? Why is that?
Because I
It's
use
like
it at work.
I was
every
literally
day,
doing
and
nothing.
Sometimes it just goes no. You go, why?
Error.
I wasn't doing anything, and it just decided, yeah, it cannot find the other, like, it can't find the other one.
Can you persevere with just one monitor? Or is that a nightmare?
Fucking Jesus effing Christ.
Although I understand the urge to
I mean,
like,
I
want to know
can.
why this has happened and to fix it because I
I'm
would be the
just
same.
trying to work out
Favorite
why,
Kotza song is Mexicola, or The Fun Machine Took a Shit and Died. That's incredible. I saw a video of them playing that recently. I've got that on white label, signed by the band.
Blimey.
I saw a video of them playing that recently, and someone put underneath it, "This is their Bohemian Rhapsody," and that perfectly summed up that song. It's fucking
Do you know
incredible.
my favourite is still Better Living Through Chemistry. I think that's an
That is a
incredible
good
song.
fucking tune. I need to show you. I've got a little music box. Someone bought me, a friend of mine, Craig, bought me for my birthday years and years ago. Little music box where you turn the handle and
Oh yeah,
it
yeah. I
plays
got.
Better
I used to have
Living
a
Through
Mogwai one of
Chemistry.
those.
Really?
Yeah, it's quality. Quality.
So you see,
Found that
Jack
in the
515 says you dissed Windows, and then Twitch served a Mac advert on the side nearly instantly.
Look, I've got problems with Macs as well, so I don't think I'm picking sides here. I've got problems with Macs.
Yeah, I'm just
We
going to have
think
to
you
leave
want
it.
to use your headphones now. I don't. So you change
Don't
it
know
to
me.
don't do this automatically, and then 2 weeks ago he probably wants it automatically, changes it back every fucking time.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, something must have bad happened. It just said that it's lost part of my audio in Audacity.
Oh shit! So it's
Do you reckon what's happening?
Is this just another way of us pulling the stream
No.
audio again?
Fucking hell.
well, I'm not noticed, so.
Yeah, my thing is now not recording. Right, so last time I
Okay,
recorded.
Should we all stop then?
Yeah. What's the last thing recorded? Yeah, we'll stop.
Okay, I'm pressing stop.
46:18. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Yes,
Well,
that's about right.
Yeah, that's
I
when we
think that's
stopped.
about right,
more or less. Yeah.
Let me
Right,
just
I'll
put David O1.
Save mine.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so it literally ends after I end the feedback.
What episode number is
Yeah,
this?
cool.
422, I think.
422, yeah. Okay.
Man, okay, that's weird. Okay, sorry about this, but it's my
It's
edit,
all
so
right. These things happen. And now the Twitch audience get to see it.
Oh yeah, we haven't had one of these. Dave, how are Millwall doing? They're doing really poorly. Performances have been okay. we've just not been getting points. We're like sort of lower quarter of the table. We're just not picking up the points we need to. But hopefully, I'm hopeful that we'll finish mid-table this season. I'll take that at this point. James, Chelsea are doing well, surprisingly well.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's they're doing pretty good at the moment. It's
and Palace has
Yeah, we haven't won
the
yet.
worst start to the season for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, we haven't won.
It's
Yeah, we haven't
great.
won. Yes, it's lovely.
That is great.
What do you think of Ange Ball, Dave?
I'm obsessed with it. It's so funny. I just want someone to turn around to him and go, but it's not working.
Yeah.
But that's how we
Testing
play,
1,
mate.
2.
Look, don't get me wrong. They pick up some incredible results, but clearly that style of play is not consistent enough. It's not consistent enough to win anything.
Have you seen Shy Talk in the chat? So
No.
popped in to see the people who were going to beat my lot to the podcast award after very much enjoying listening. Hello, welcome. It's not normally like this. We're having technical issues.
Yeah, sorry, we're in the middle of technical issues. Who's Shy Talk then? Who do you? What's your
You
pod?
represent-
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, what was that, Sean?
I was just
me doing a test
who you
recording as well to
representing.
make sure this is okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, who
that
you
is-
representing? I want to know
There we
who
go,
you who you are because we would like to say hello to you before the when you have the drinks before the ceremony. Let's come over and say hi if you recognise us. We won't do it to you because we're
We're
too
above that. sort of
famous.
thing. Yeah. You have to
No,
get
come
in like
Shy
a
Talk.
queue.
What are you?
You'll pay
It's
like
all
a
good.
tenner.
I'm not a self-promo guy, but no, the other Dave. No, just self-promo. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
We're not
100%,
like that
please
at all.
do. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we're not, could you imagine that? Ban him. kick him out, ban them. All right, I'm just going to put you on what do you call it, time out for a moment now. Ban them.
Okay, I think I can go back. This is annoying.
Oh, Dungeons
you're
and
from Dungeons and
Dickheads.
Dickheads.
It's Dave Lonely God. What's up? I didn't know you were Shy Talk on Twitch. I thought you'd be Dave Lonely God. How are you doing? I hope you're well. We're in the middle of technicals. You're used to seeing plenty of that on TLNA, so that's that is fine. You all right, Matt? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good now.
You good?
Did you get,
right,
did you
okay,
get the
so
monitor
I'm
on
good
or?
now.
Nope.
Still
TV.
looking
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know to allow you.
Right, okay. So if everyone is everyone ready?
Yes.
Everyone hit record. 3, 2, 1.
Matt.
Okay, so it's time for the news then. James, what have you got for us?
Well, yeah, this is a bit difficult because we have had some not so great news this week that's happened, which was there's been problems with XR Games where Matt works.
There's been what?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can't really talk about this in massive depth for obvious reasons.
We can.
But,
I can.
okay,
I don't know if Matt can
Wow.
or not, but I feel I can go
Can't
into
sack
depth.
us.
Sure.
No,
I've got lots of sources.
Nothing can be
But I
said.
can't name who they are. I can't talk about. Yeah, Matt.
it's
Look,
an
you
ex-
can't.
What? Well, let's hear the news story first, I think.
You can't talk about it, can you?
No, call me that.
But do you want to explain? Did you want to just do the story, James? Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, just that. I mean, obviously, there's been redundancies have been announced at the studio. I think is it 78? I think people are being let go, and and it's not clear yet what's going to happen to the other games that are currently in the pipeline that are going to be coming out. But yeah, this is another terrible layoff story, which we have a personal investment in.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
a
pretty
personal
unique, isn't it?
investment. Obviously, because Matt's on the show, but also he's mentioned many times during the podcast that there's people at that studio that listen to this pod because they want to hear what the fuck Matt's banging on about this week.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're affected, we really feel for you. I mean, and that includes you, Matt, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
affected.
what-
I'm losing my job. It's really sad. I'm obviously not. There's not a lot I can say, and I'm not going to say it
Well,
because it's
you're
not
gonna
really my
have to.
place.
So go. I want
But
details,
I'm not
buddy.
going to say it, David.
I want details, buddy.
Tell
But
us
it-
what
it
went
is,
wrong and who's responsible.
Yeah, but it is, after all these talks of layoffs and it's kind of a bit of a unique situation where we get to read the news story and then one of us on the pod is actually affected by it. So what
But
a
also
unique
That means we can't really
talk
say
about it.
anything.
Right, you can't talk about the details about the company. You can't talk the details about what's going on. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons why you can't do that. So we don't need people
Yes,
messaging in saying,
absolutely.
"Well, you should do anyway," because it's
Grill
not gonna
him!
happen. But how are you doing?
Well, it's very sad because there's lots of incredible people there. I've had an amazing 4 years. Released some games. It's been great, and my first job in the games industry. And yeah, it's just really sad because there's an amazing team I'm not going to get to work with again. Everyone's really gutted about it. Not being able to work with me again. Obviously, lots of people are really upset about that. So no, it's sad, but it's a good, it'd be a good thing because I'll get an amazing new job at some point, and I'll look back and say, it was always, I believe everything does happen for a reason. So this was always supposed to happen to get to me where I need to get to next. Is how I'm taking it. So yeah, I'm looking out for new jobs. If anyone wants a great marketer, no, not a great one of the best basically of all time, then please get in contact with me, and I'll let you know who you want a job.
At TCGS Co, is it, Matt?
Look, that was a great branding exercise because everything was forget that. I still maintain that was fine.
No,
I mean,
I'm
we
joking.
should also point out what's absolutely extraordinary about this. Podcast listeners will not be aware. We're pretty sure Matt's main monitor has just blown up.
No, it's
top of this.
it's fine. It's fine. That is.
Is it? He's just had a power surge. His monitor won't turn back on.
Oh no, the monitor will turn on. It just
okay.
won't find the PC, so it's all good.
Right.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, it's very sad.
Sorry, Matt.
Look, it's one of those things where if I mentioned to a friend that Matt looks like Matt might lose his job or whatever, and they go, "Oh shit, is he going to be all right?" And my reply has always been, "Yeah." Yeah, he will.
Yeah, I know what you
if there's
mean.
one
Yeah.
person that I know that will always find a place to work because he works his fucking bollocks off at everything, it's Matt Murray. So you'll be all right.
I'm not too worried.
Definitely.
Big shout out to you, Matt, and big shout. That's patronising. Big shout out to
Kudos to Matt.
Props to Matt.
Yeah.
Well done, Matt. Well done for you for doing all the stuff that you do. And big shout out to everyone at XR Games that are affected by this, because we know we've got a few listeners over there, and we're thinking of you as usual with this stuff. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, those layoffs. Oh, mama, not
thought you were
a
gonna go
funny
those-
matter anymore.
Those old Monday nights.
No, I wouldn't joke. Actually, it was quite a serious moment, David. I wouldn't.
Okay, sorry.
Wouldn't make a joke about that.
Right.
Okay.
So can I assume you're going to
on.
be editing quite regularly in the near future?
Yeah, get back on the streams.
No, because I've got to get a new job, baby. A full-time
Is
job.
the
apparently, yes.
website going to get updated?
Actually, we actually fucking will. I thought about that. So what? I'm going to get Rebirth finished. I'm going to get a lot done. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not joke about. Let's not joke about it, James, because it is.
It's
serious.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry.
It's a bit unfair, actually.
It's unfortunate. Anyway, next story. This is another bad story. So Future have shut down Play magazine, which was...
God.
What's up,
Are
Dave?
you alright, Dave?
We spoke about this morning about whether we were going to bring this up on the show, and we were like, no, we can deal with this quite well. We'll bring up this news story about XR Games, and Matt could say that he can't really talk about it, and and it ended up being that. It ended up being that was the bit that we did, was it? Where we started taking the piss and joking about Matt being able to edit.
That's how we cope with, adversity. I think.
Just
it
honestly,
worked out.
when I listen to that back
The
tomorrow, I'm
worse
just going to
things
go.
are,
for
the
fuck's
funnier
sake,
we
what is
get.
the-
All right.
What is the matter with us? What is the matter with us?
It's the way we deal with things.
Yes.
It's like...
Yeah,
It's just...
but then I also think about the other people at XR Games that's listening to that, just going, "Well, fucking don't take the piss."
We're not taking the piss.
We're
It's-
not. Yeah.
Fuck no, we're not. We're
We're taking
definitely
the piss
not
out
taking
of
the piss.
Matt, if anything.
Yeah, if anything, I'm the butt. Hang on, what has that? I know.
And that was the
We've
yoke.
decided you're going to be fine. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
I will be
Yeah,
fine. I'll be fine. Everyone's gonna be fine. Everyone's 3 times in the studio. We'll be
Arbitrarily
fine. So up
say.
yours.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. James.
Yeah, so Future are shutting down Play Magazine, which was their PlayStation-focused magazine that grew out of the official PlayStation magazine, which closed in 2021. And I mean, the magazine, it's sort of like the whole, if you include official PlayStation magazine, it was been around for like 29 years, which is quite a long time, to have to have magazine around for. And I mean, that means, I had to look this up because I was trying to figure out how many video game magazines that Future still run, and I think it's 3, but I'm not entirely sure because if you go on like my favorite magazines or whatever to try and subscribe to stuff, it's not entirely clear because they've got magazines up there still that don't exist like anymore.
Right.
So it's a bit. So I think
So
it's
Edge,
Edge is one, Retro Gamer is another.
Retro Gamer, which is still a big seller apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other one, does PC Gamer still exist in
Oh god, yeah,
magazine
PC
form?
game is massive.
Okay, so then that's those. They're the 3 that I could identify as being. I think they still exist.
I say it's massive. I know it's massive as a website. I don't know how the paper version does. If I assume it's still around, I don't know.
But it's just, I don't know. I still think this is. I know that we go through this all the time with Prince dying and all that kind of thing, and how sad it is. But it is really sad, to think that they're Future used to have tons of these magazines they were churning out, and I know they don't. Everyone reads websites and stuff now. People don't even do that anymore. And it's a shame that this is another one that's gone.
The one that gets
I think.
me is, it's kind of unrelated and probably insensitive. The newspapers, they can't still be big, can they? Because they act like they are. Look, we're dictating the way the world is.
But that's the thing, because they're all run those newspapers have very wealthy backers behind them. And
Sure.
they're running those not for profit. They're running those because they have reasons to run those newspapers. It's it's to help guide conversations. It's
Yeah, but how
and
are you
political
guiding
power, I guess.
conversation if no one's fucking reading the newspapers anymore?
but that's
Well,
the
I
point.
bet enough people
Anyone
are.
reading
The
them.
website,
But that's
right?
that's not the point though, because the thing is the reason that you still run those newspapers is because they help set the agenda for news programs and stuff that are on TV, and also on if you listen to Radio 4 or anything like that, or any of those news programs, they almost always start with what do the papers say. And the whole point is it's to try and guide the discussion. That's why it's there. And it's it says Nader Ben says in the chat, it's
but I just don't
Newsnight
see that
always
as a
say,
day-to-day thing.
let's look at what the papers are saying. It's that's why they exist.
They're not
And-
going to keep that's not going to keep happening though.
Oh, it will.
because that
It's not
reader
going
base.
anywhere.
No, it won't. Yes,
Of course
it
it
is
will.
going somewhere.
They don't care about how many people are buying those papers. The main reason is to get them there to keep the conversation going in the direction they
genuinely
want
think-
it to.
Yeah, but how do you direct a conversation if the audience is getting smaller and smaller and smaller?
Because
it's
it's
still
not.
big
Because
enough.
that's the point. It's not the people buying the papers. It's the fact that it's them being rebroadcast on other services. The viewpoints are being rebroadcast.
I see what you're saying, and I agree. I just don't think it's going to be an everlasting thing. I think there will come to a point where it's just so irrelevant that they're not even going to do that anymore.
And that's why a lot of them the Mail and stuff like that have moved big online. To try and capture that as well.
Create get the Facebook following. But no, going back to video games magazines. Yeah, it's one of those. It's sad to see them go, but we're so past the point. Excuse me, I'm so
Okay.
past the point of. So I sneeze. So past the point of me buying a magazine now. Even going into WH Smith's at the weekend and looking at a magazine and going, I don't know if I'd buy any of these anymore, and the kids don't want them. So it's awful, man. It's awful because I used to love those things. They were such a huge part of my youth. Reading magazines, and it's just gone now. It just doesn't happen. Everyone's looking at their phone these days. God, fucking hell!
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
Live in the
Everyone's
moment.
looking
Got
at their
their-
phones these days.
Their phones, the TikToks,
Yeah.
and all that sort of
Oh God!
They're all doing the
They're
dances, aren't they?
taking videos
Next
of everything.
news
Why are they always
story.
taking videos of everything?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stop living life for your phone, man.
Yeah,
Put the phone down and
yeah.
experience it.
Living life through
in
a
a way.
lens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, go on. Next news story.
So next story is that there's a Switch emulator by Ryujinx which has been taken offline. It's gone. And this is the second of the Switch emulators that's gone offline. The first was this one by Yuzu, which was removed in March this year. But then what's interesting about this is there was a representative from Ryujinx who then posted an update on their Discord. They said yesterday, GDK-chan was contacted by Nintendo and offered an agreement to stop working on the project, remove the organisation and all related assets he's in control of. While awaiting confirmation on whether he would take this agreement, the organisation has been removed, so I think it's safe to say what the outcome is. Rather than leave you with only panic and speculation, I decided to write this short message to give some closure. So, this is really... So, Nintendo went to this, organisation or whatever, they're doing the emulation, and then offered them an agreement to stop working on it. That must have been basically like, you stop working on this or we will sue you.
We'll have you killed.
Yeah, you go
Yeah,
to jail.
so that's the only thing I can think of it being. Like, it can't have been like, we'll pay you money if you stop developing this or anything like that. It's very strange, but I mean, the emulator...
Come on, please. We'll let you see Mario Odyssey 2 for a bit.
Yeah, you can see Switch 2 if you want.
Yeah.
Go on.
You can have one for free. Nintendo have been a bit odd lately. Retro Game Core is a YouTube channel. It's a very good one. Guy who reviews lots of emulation handhelds and stuff. He covered, what's it called? Is it the Meg? It's this Switch cartridge that you can upload games onto, right? But you can also back up your games to your PC and then load them onto this one cartridge. Genuinely might be a useful thing for some people, right? But it is a flash cart. So theoretically...
It's an R4, like
an
for
R4.
Switch.
Yeah. Anyway, so he covered it and was just like, look, here's... what you could use it for. Do I think it's useful? Yes or no? And he only covered the backup aspect of it. Obviously, it's disingenuous to be like, I didn't know people would use it for piracy. Like, obviously, he knows. He's not stupid. He knows that, but he did not cover that intentionally because he knew that would upset Nintendo, and they've been fucking going for him anyway. So he had to take that video down. He got strike on his channel. He then uploaded a review of another handheld emulator that showed like some SNES games, and they went for that as well. So he's now 2 strikes. So he's like, Dave's gone. Is Dave gone? Oh, he just turned his camera off. Sorry. So he's now like, I can no longer show any Nintendo games on my channel now, even though my job is reviewing handheld emulators, like because he can't risk.
Yeah,
like
another strike.
Like another strike, because then he's done. So everyone's just like, please make another channel. Well, that's the other thing. Is loads of people in his his comments are like, fuck Nintendo, pirate anything you want, and he's like, no, please, no, stop it.
That's the opposite of what's
not
going
helpful. But so I don't know, man. Nintendo are weird. A Switch emulator is a very different prospect to a SNES emulator, right? Like, obviously, emulating.
Well, I was going to say, what games are you preserving on the Switch at the moment? That's the question.
I mean, you could play New Zelda in a decent frame rate.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's less about preserving, more about improving current releases, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the interest in Switch emulation is because most people, or a lot of people, have got a PC that will handle things better than the Switch.
Right,
and there's been so many.
That's not the primary reason why people would be interested in a Switch emulator. It's so that they can play games without paying them.
There is also that.
It's also that's the main thing.
I don't know, man. I think it's enough of.
I know.
I could emulate Switch stuff, and I choose not to because I think it's a pain in the arse, and the frame rate stuff hasn't bothered me that much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The only reason I would get into emulating Switch stuff is I'd happily still buy the games, but it would just be to run them properly.
Right, but you'd be the outlier there, where you would buy the game, then play them emulated to run them properly.
There definitely would be people. There definitely would be people that do that, but but 9 out of 10 other people would be doing it for other reasons.
It's like having an R9 card and saying, "Well, I just want all the I don't want to have to switch the carts out all the time." That's not what people were using it for, were they? They were downloading the games straight onto the thing. Yeah, I don't know. There's there is. I understand a lot of emulation and emulators and. Certainly I've played games that have been emulated that I don't own and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So sue me, but
fucking might. That'll be our channel gone now.
Yeah. But I've done that in the past. Way past. What's the statute of limitations? Beyond that, right? But in terms of
whatever that
is,
whatever that is, it's more than that.
An emulator for the Switch. There's only one reason why. I mean, absolutely shut that shit down. That's not helping anyone, is it? the industry's already in trouble. Like I don't support that sort of stuff.
I mean, the argument the other argument for this is obviously the game preservation side of things as well.
Yeah, but you're
is
not preserving games that are out on the Switch. Like I get it for the SNES and the NES where they're not making those carts of those games anymore, and they're hardware, so eventually they will fail. Like I get that, and I also get the fact that look, these games are really old, and you're not going to be buying these games to play in this day and age. So being able to just go and play a SNES game really conveniently is, I think, a really cool thing. I think it really is a good thing, right? But a Switch emulator, that's not the same thing in my book.
Yeah,
That's
at
not.
the very least, anyone working on an emulator for a current gen piece of hardware should know it's probably going to raise the wrong kind of attention, right? Like, and they should.
They do know. They know exactly what they're doing. Let's not try and pretend that these people are out there to, hey, no. Actually,
they're doing it. They
ethical
just
thing
want to
do.
create homebrew stuff. That's all it is. They just want to create their own applications for it.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of benefits to emulation. I don't think emulating current hardware. And as I said, the industry's really shaky at the moment. And of course, like there are games that are making money hand over fist, and that's different. But I don't think this is helping. And I'm not stupid enough to think that one person downloading a Switch emulator means one less sale for Nintendo. Like that's not where my brain's at. But my brain is that this is a detriment to current developers, and that's where I have a problem with it. So, you can kind of understand Nintendo taking action, but I didn't expect that action.
And there's also
please stop.
There's a security issue there potentially, right? If this is modern games that people are playing online and someone can do it via an emulator, that might give them access to things that they shouldn't have, and so I can sort of see that argument as well.
Or it could just be cheating and stuff. Okay. And I know we're going to get a bunch of messages going, but it also exposes flaws within the so it tightens security. All right, but that's not why they're doing it, is it? They're not doing it to help.
Yeah, if they were doing it that way, they would do a private disclosure to Nintendo and say, look, this is how we broke it.
Exactly, all right.
But either way, I mean, Nintendo have declined to comment on this. Obviously,
Really?
as you imagine,
We fucking took them down, bruv. Was what
Those idiots.
Shigeru Miyamoto said. Yeah. Go on.
Okay, next story is that apparently 53% of gamers prefer single-player games. This is from data from its media research, and they did customer surveys in the US, UK, Australia, Canada, Germany, France, Poland, Turkey, and South Africa. But what was interesting about this is they found that people over 55, 74% of those prefer to play games on their own. They're not interested in playing multiplayer, and it was the 20 to 24-year-olds that had the highest number, but that was at 43%. But yeah, that's. I mean, I do think this is quite interesting because if you think about, there's a huge focus always, it seems, particularly there's been for live service games and for trying to get people hooked into cooperative play or PvP and stuff like that. And it seems that not everybody is digging that as being a thing.
I suppose the problem is that 53% that prefer single player games are spending a lot less than the 47%, right? Like they're buying games once and finishing them and then moving on, whereas the 47% you might be
recurring
revenue.
I would love
over for new
I'd love to see what the revenue assessment would be for that 47% versus the 53.
Yeah. I mean, the 74% of people over 55, that makes total sense to me because generally 100%. As you get older, there's less time for things as well, and it's
less time and just less. I don't know. Less
but also more time. I mean, you're retired, so actually loads of time just playing your mates all day. So if
55?
Okay, well, sorry, I've always said 55.
Maybe it shifts again when you get to retirement age.
Yeah, I was gonna say suddenly then it's massive.
Let's fucking go!
It's Fortnite all day long.
I do wonder what if someone asked me this question: do you prefer single player games or multiplayer games? I don't know if I've got an answer.
Oh, because it depends on the game, doesn't it?
Isn't it?
It depends on what you're doing, and I mean, I love playing Helldivers. It's great, because I'm playing with other people.
Yeah, sure. But as an overall blanket statement, I don't know if I prefer, because I really love single player games and I really love multiplayer games. So I don't know if I've got an actual preference.
Well, if you had to play one forever, which would it be?
Well, it'd probably be multiplayer because Yeah, because I could play FIFA with my mates. It's more of a social thing, you know.
But what when you can't play with your mates? Your mates aren't around.
Oh god, yeah, that sucks. Trying to play Rush with people that are terrible.
I think
I think
the
that.
way I would see it is that single player stuff. I've got the choice of playing on my own. Well, I've only got the choice of playing on my own, but I can at least talk to other people about single player stuff. Whereas if I'm only doing multiplayer stuff, there is no solo experience.
If I had a choice, I would go single player. I think for that reason, because you can also
don't play
have
multiplayer games, Matt.
Well, yeah, I've been busy,
Why
mate,
don't you come
actually.
home? That's
Better
the
things to
problem. Why don't you come home and hang out with your friends online? I don't get that. Why do you Why are you so reluctant to play video games with us?
It's not that I've
weird.
been. Well, I haven't played like EAFC because I've had some things going on, David. I'm not sure if you're aware, but
Plenty of free time now. Jump on.
yeah,
Jump on and play.
yeah, I do want it, but anyway, out of two, single player for me for sure. Because I can play on my own and or do like swap a pad with a mate or talk about it, but yeah.
Swap a pad with a mate.
Well, if you're like
Pad with a
if
mate.
you've got a friend over or something, you can both play. But I don't know. It's just better. I think out of the two,
I
single
feel
player.
really awkward with that. I've been in situations. Do you remember when we were? I don't know. Oh yeah, I think we could say when we were at Sam White's once, and he was showing us a game, and it was about 20 minutes of us passing the pad around, and I just got really nervous because it was in the middle of a game. I didn't know how to play it, and everyone was watching me play it, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think it might have been Horizon. Yeah, I was thinking Red Dead, but maybe it was. I think we did it with Red Dead as well, and that is a very complicated game to just pick up a pad for the first time on. Did you say you played Rush, James?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That commentator is something else, isn't it?
It really is. It's very funny.
It's something. Hey, it's gone off the side of the pitch, and now let's play some handball.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But the overall commentary in like this year feels worse in general. Like the actual game, like the match commentary doesn't
I
sound
didn't
that
really
great
pick up
either.
on that.
It's not that good.
I don't know where I sit with that game yet. We are working our way towards level 100 for our pro characters, and I'm hoping that the game gets significantly better once we're fully statted because it needs to. Okay, all right. Next news story.
Yeah, so the next one is that okay, so 343 Industries, who made Halo games, is no more. They've rebranded. It's no the name of the studio is no. Wait a second, Sean. Let me just.
Narrative, Sean. He's hooking us in
James is
there. He's
angry
going
about this story, by the
to
way.
flip the script.
I'm just
James is
building.
angry about this story.
I'm just building it up. Just say that 343 are dead, and now it's they're called Halo Studios instead. Okay. And they've also announced that they're shifting all development to Unreal Engine 5 as well. So the Slipstream engine, they're ending that. That was what powered Halo Infinite. And I mean, Pierre Hintz, who was the studio head, he said, we had a disproportionate focus on trying to create the conditions to be successful in servicing Halo Infinite. But switching to Unreal allows us to put all the focus on making multiple new experiences at the highest quality possible. So they've also said that there's multiple new Halo games that are coming. But they haven't said what they are or when these are going to be happening.
Oh
but
my god.
But they have released a tech demo which is called Project Foundry, which shows sort of Halo Infinite, perhaps how it could have been in Unreal Engine 5, which I've watched and I think it looks pretty stunning, honestly. It looks very good.
Right.
Go on,
okay.
David, what's going on?
Okay. So this is all from memory, and might be off here. But we know that James made a prediction that Xbox were going to start releasing all games on PlayStation, which we're not that far off of, right? So I would say if he doesn't get that prediction, then that's fucking a good shout, right? The other one of his predictions, if I remember correctly, is that Sony won't release a first-party PSVR 2 game. So far, so good with that one as well.
Yeah, that was good.
I think his third prediction was there will be new Halo games announced, but they won't be made by 343.
Really?
Technically,
does that count though?
This counts.
It does count.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I don't know if you heard there, Sean, but 343 are dead.
I did hear that. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
This, if my memory is right, James,
Clean sweep.
this might
haven't
be
been
the
announced,
most
so,
incredible year of predictions ever.
I mean,
And I'm going to have to just hold my hands up and go, well done, because that is incredible if you've got that right.
see, and this news also
They haven't been announced though.
points
so I think
points
we can-
towards stuff because, like, as people have been saying, like, shifting it over to Unreal Engine 5, it'll make porting Halo over to PS5 a lot easier if they do that.
I think that's a bit of a shorthand thing you're saying. You can pull pretty much any game over to the PS5, can't you?
Probably, but it's probably a lot easier if you're using like
Yeah,
something.
but
hell of a lot
that's
easier
it.
than real
Probably,
than
maybe,
Yeah.
sort of. That sounds like something someone said on an internet forum to try and sound like they know about games development.
Well, it
and
was
everyone
actually
went,
David.
of-
It's
Roll Muck. You reading Roll Muck again?
no, it was
Yeah, of course you were.
actually no, it was Romac. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of just reading things off forums, so this, because I remember the rumor was, I mean, this is going back a year or something, was that they were porting Infinite to Unreal. I think we can now assume that was people looking at like job listings and being like, oh, they want people with Unreal experience. Probably this is what this means, and that is not the case. It's only other games going forward that are going to be using Unreal. But yeah, I think it probably makes sense. I mean, it's one of those where you think, oh, well, of course they'd be better off using Unreal. Obviously, we have seen, like, Helldivers, for example, uses an engine that literally stopped being supported about 9 years ago or something. Like, and it looks amazing, and technically it's mostly fine. Actually, no, it's not. There's been quite a few bugs, hasn't there? Point is, games can work with weird or proprietary engines. It's not just a case of everyone has to go to Unreal or Unity or whatever. However, yeah, certainly for a game of this scale, you're hiring so many people who you need to be able to just hit the ground running with the tools and stuff. Probably makes sense, right? And especially if they want to put out multiple games. I haven't seen this footage. I've seen the picture of Master Chief, who looks a bit plasticky. But I gather the actual video.
Yeah, the video, it does
yeah,
look
the
stunning.
environment looks really good.
It looks really good. Yeah,
But
it's really
it's a
impressive.
tech demo, isn't it? It's not, the games are not going to look like that once they.
But
get
yeah, I
to
mean,
it,
like,
but-
we've heard for years, and they obviously mentioned in the video and in the piece, but the fact that they were almost like fighting the technology to get it to do what it needs to do. It does make sense. It always makes sense, I think, to use a much more widespread engine, because it's easier to bring talent in to work on that rather than getting someone in, have to onboard them, and then when they leave, you're like, well, all that knowledge of the proprietary engine's gone. So it makes more sense, with updates as well. They're not spending half the time. I think, as they said, in the video, they're spending half the time as a tech company sorting out and building and fixing the engine, the other half actually trying to make the game run. So this will hopefully make things a lot better and a lot quicker in terms of iterations. And yeah, just watching that video, it got me excited for Halo for the first time in about 1,000 years.
They said something that was the most promising thing I've heard from a Halo team in ages. They said, since the release of Halo Combat Evolved, we were given a blueprint to develop our Halo games, and now it's time to start building our own blueprint.
Yeah.
And
See,
thank God, because I didn't want the. I know. You.
they said the same thing for
right to-
Infinite. That's what
No,
they
they
said.
didn't. No, they didn't.
Did.
No,
they
they
said
didn't.
they
No,
did. It was like they
we were going
said.
back to.
They said we're going
back to the.
Yeah, but then also that this was going to be the platform for all, for Halo games going forward and all that stuff.
That's completely different. That's completely different. What they were saying in this video is we need to rebuild Halo. We've got to do something different with Halo. We're not going to go back to Combat Evolved. And sorry, Infinite really tried to go back to Combat Evolved, and it was decent. It did not land. It did not stick the landing in terms of a single player game as well as it should have. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great. It was good
Yeah,
fun.
I wouldn't say it was great.
No, I would
I'd
say it's
say
great.
it's
I mean,
decent.
I thought multiplayer was excellent, but needed a lot of had lots of issues with all the seasons taking forever. But that Christmas, David, me, and everyone else played it. We absolutely loved it. Single player I thought was excellent. It just wasn't what it needed to be. It was maybe a platform, and if they brought more DLC with new areas and updated things, it could have been something. But they weren't going to do that, or they didn't do that, and so in the end, it just felt a bit like
horrifically. It was so horrifically screwed up by its original showing. Where they showed this game off, and it was like, we are not ready for this. We have not, and the whole focus was on trying to fix it rather than create something special. That was my take from it, but.
Infinite, I think it's mostly unfairly maligned. I think it is great. It just wasn't what it needed to be, and all the stuff following that has just made it a bit of a mess. But I'm really excited to see what they do with Halo, and I would love it if we went back to basics. Just make a single, multiplayer, but like a curated kind of standard single player
What do you mean?
campaign.
Go back to basics, though.
Well,
That's
rather than the open world stuff, just go back to what they were doing before, like with Halo Reach and Halo 2.
no, that's the
that's what I
opposite
want.
of what I want. But they've tried to do that stuff, and it hasn't
Well,
worked.
I think they went open world. I would rather just have like a curated experience.
But they tried to do that for 5, and it was dreadful.
Well, yeah, but for 5 they're going the squad based stuff, which didn't work. I don't know. I think
Matt,
do another
honestly,
Reach.
they need to completely disregard and find their own Halo. You can keep the themes and try something completely different. You can.
Okay.
And I think that's what they need to do. They need to try something new.
I know we're not game designers, but we think about the various ways. They could do what I did with like Halo and Halo 2 and Reach and stuff, like a much more curated campaign, or they can maybe go like a bit more Destiny, which is a bit more like MMO or massively multiplayer. They went open world before, it didn't really work. They went squad based with 5. Out of them, I would rather just they went back to the curated campaign experience, which is what I know and love.
See, and that's
just
what you're describing, Matt. It's exactly what I meant. It's like they have tried like multiple times to try and do different things with Halo, and it's none of them have stuck the landing like at all. And like Infinite also, they did try and do something different with this by making it open world. There were elements where they were like, yeah, we're going back to basics with the combat and all that kind of stuff. But the idea, I mean, I thought that the idea for Halo Infinite originally was that it was going to be like a platform that they were going to build on for years and years, where they were going to be like, there'll be like downloadable, like new campaign content, all of that kind of thing. But none of it happened. And I think none of it happened probably because of all the technical problems they had and the fact that it didn't land. That was the thing. So I'm curious to see what they do, like where they go next. I don't know how you reinvent that series now. Like, I don't know what you do with it to make it like relevant again. Like,
but it needs to be reinvented, and that's my point.
Yeah, you're right. It absolutely does.
You cannot if you come back with a Halo game and they say let's look at the first gameplay footage, and it's Master Chief walking through a field with those trees, and then a grunt and a dropship drops off some grunts that come towards you. Like, you're gonna go, okay.
What?
I mean, what they need,
you'll instantly go, I'm out.
Yeah, I do what you mean.
Now.
They need something on the scale, I really think, of like, like with Breath of the Wild when they first showed that, of like, this is what our new direction for Halo is now. Actually, we're doing
Breath of the Wild, God of War,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider when they rebooted that. Whether you like those games over the previous ones or not, it's a wild change in an established series.
Yeah.
That's what Halo needs, in my opinion, because we've seen too many times Master Chief walking out of a crashed ship on in a forest, and all that stuff, and that sound of the fucking armor booting up again, all of that stuff. We've seen it enough. But let's try something.
The concept of Infinite did make sense. When we first started playing, we were excited about the idea of what if you logged in one day and there's like a whole new area, or like a patch had happened and suddenly that area that was blocked off is now open and there's a crashed ship. And you're like, what is this? Almost like you're trying to, there's emergent gameplay, there's emergent stories happening. A bit like some of the Destiny kind of, the huge public events. Maybe some of those things could happen in the universe, but that didn't really happen. They didn't. I guess technically it didn't. Maybe technical issues stopped them being able to do that. But that stuff does sound cool and exciting. But will they go? Oh, Halo's back again, another open world, and we're really going to try this time, or not try? That's harsh. Really going to actually manage to do what we wanted to do first time. I'm not sure if that would even work as a pitch either.
Do we need a trailer? Another one of those trailers of Master Chief on a desert planet wearing a poncho. Because
that was weird.
Yeah,
that was really weird.
That was the first showing of Infinite, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
what
was the poncho for? What
I don't know.
It was in sandy conditions.
He was wearing power armor. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Sand getting in the joint.
It was scratch. It was scratch, wasn't it? Scratches in these metalwork.
I mean, did they just get away from Master Chief? I've never found him a compelling character. I thought that, Reach was probably my favourite Halo.
Reach was awesome.
Sean, you shut your fucking mouth. You shut your mouth.
Slagging off the Chief. I'm just saying, I really liked making my own guy. Because some of the designs of that the Spartan armor are really cool, and it was amazing being able to customize that and fuck around with it. Whereas Master Chief feels like the most boring thing you could do with that sort of visually that you do with that template.
Do you know what? If I was working at Halo Studios or whatever they've renamed themselves to, I'll go right.
Studios.
Yeah. Here's what we got to do. let's try and piss off as many existing Halo fans as possible, so we don't have to worry about them. And we'll say the new lead character is called Halo. That is why. And
We'll have a cutscene at the start where Master Chief slips on a banana and he can't get up, and then Halo comes in.
But his
Halo
bomb's
comes
out
in
like
and
the
goes,
TV show.
His bomb's out.
His bomb's out.
But Master Chief walks out of the ship, and then Halo shoots him in the head and goes,
Yeah.
"I'm the real chief now. My name's Halo, like in the game." And then he walks off, and then the camera pans and goes into the back of their head, and you're controlling them.
It goes, whoa.
No, it doesn't the other way. It goes,
Oh yeah.
"Ooh."
It's a groan tube. Yeah.
That's what he has to do to recharge his armor.
He's got to get a groan tube out.
He's got his he
And
gets his
then he
own groan
bored
tube
and
out.
shakes it and goes,
Oh Jesus Christ! Clip that. Clip that.
If you've got, consultancy positions open.
"Oh,
We're here. Do you
light-headed."
know what I mean?
Okay.
What was that sound you did? Okay, let's move on.
Should we do
I did
the
the
last?
accent as well.
Yeah. There's a gift ranger happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
So last news story is that Amazon have hired Jay Allard. He's now going to be
delivering parcels. Is he can show up at your door and ask for your date of birth because you've got some
No,
alcohol
he just
in there.
fucking leaves it and drives off. That's what they do around here.
I mean,
I ordered from Amazon the other day and there was alcohol in there, and they looked up.
Show
they
off.
went. They opened the door. They gave me the package and I went, "Can we have your date of birth?" And no, okay, no worries. I was like, "Oh,
Please.
fuck off."
Don't worry about
Ask anyway.
Yeah, go on.
The thing with J.R. Lard is because of the way he was in the Xbox 360 era, he was a bit of a figure of fun, and I'm guilty of this. I took the piss out of him. Like I used to take the piss out of him all the time, especially because he had that glow up. Right, there's pictures of him prior to the Xbox 360 stuff where he just looks like a nerd, and then suddenly he's really stylish. He's got these cool
like a
suits and he
nerd.
shaved his head and all that stuff.
yeah, he's skateboarding around the office. and all that.
Yeah, all that shit. However, looking into him later, so I'm sure I've said this before. So he's the reason that Microsoft took the internet seriously. He's the reason that Windows 95 was more or less internet capable. He wrote a 10-page document to Bill Gates and was like, "We need to pay attention to this fucking internet thing because I think it might be big." And he was the only one in Microsoft arguing for it.
Yeah, but he was also the man that did the Zune.
He did.
As well.
Yeah, Zoom was a great.
Yeah, but
great
that
piece
brown
of
one looks
stuff.
so nice. We all want a brown suit.
Yeah, and then after Microsoft, he pioneered. It's like a bicycle tracking system for stolen bikes, so the police can locate them. Apparently, that went really well. So yeah,
We get
But
it,
he's-
Sean.
I
You
mean,
fancy
but- I
Jay
mean,
Allard.
also-
Like,
Yeah.
what
Jay
is
Allard.
this?
Yeah, but Sean. He also was the global managing director of the Amico console of Intellivision Entertainment under Tony Tallarico for a bit. So what I'm trying to say is it's a mixed bag.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. all right.
Swings and roundabouts.
Did not know that. Jesus Christ.
Okay, what's he doing at Amazon then? Come on.
Well, he's joining the devices and services team, and yeah, he's the vice president of product during that. So, I mean, people are speculating, what does this mean? Is this going to be an Amazon console happening, or
He'll make an Alexa.
yeah, or something like that? But I don't know. It's I don't know. Does this mean anything at all? Are we going to get anything further than just Amazon Luna? Which has been Are they going to finally release some sort of hardware instead?
I feel like if they were going to, they would have already done it by now.
I mean,
but
yeah,
maybe-
they've got their
can't
Fire TV devices. I mean, it
Yeah,
wouldn't take them much to
that's
take
the-
that from an Apple TV style device, Bluetooth controllers. but maybe they're experimenting.
They're going to try it. I don't think they're going to
It's-
try it. I think we're just J.R. Lard has not been exclusively there for video games, has he? So I could see. I think you're just trying to read into it. I don't think it's going to be gaming related.
Maybe he's like, games industry's on fire. I'm going to go elsewhere. I mean, that's
Yeah. The one
Yeah.
from Amazon.
possible.
It is weird because there was a couple of news stories a few months ago actually, around Amazon, with how Alexa and all that was losing them tons of money, and how the speakers and all that kind of thing has lost
Yeah, I
them
remember that.
lots
Yeah.
and lots of money, and but it was, and how it was it was a Bezos thing, he was the one who wanted it, and now he's not in control so much. People are like, hang on, why are we burning money on all of this during this time, and they're sort of scaling it back. So this is an interesting time for him to come and join like that division, because what do you do with it? But yeah,
Don't know, mate. That's why I'm not paid the big bucks. I ain't got a fucking clue. All right.
but there you go. That's the end of the news for today.
Wow, what you been playing then? Let's return to The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Have you played much more, Sean?
I haven't played any this week.
Have you not?
No.
You just why is that?
It's not had time. Played a load of other stuff.
So, I've played a little bit more. I've done the sand temple. I am on the water temple. I think you're allowed to say that, aren't you, without people getting mad?
Yeah.
I don't know about this game. Matt, you've been playing it as well. How far into it
Yep.
are you?
I went straight to the sand place, and I'm just about to finish the rift of the sand place. Yeah.
I don't know what I think about it. I'm sort of just going through the motions with it, as I said last week, and nothing that I've played since then has made me go, no, this is actually really fun to play. Look, it is just spawning stuff, and I guess that's okay, and I like the fact that it's a bit different, but I'm not in love with any of the characters. I'm kind of sick of them going, here are there's the people that live in the desert, and now you're going to meet the Zoras, the water people, and then let me guess, later on we're going to meet the bird people and the Gorons, or whatever they're called,
people.
the ones that the rock, it's a strange game that I think is okay. And I had a feeling when I started seeing all the reviews come into this that this might be one of those games that, I don't know if you've noticed, but you get some diehard Nintendo fans towards the end of a console cycle really sort of overrating a Nintendo game because they know it's all they're getting until the next console.
But this one's not been
comes out, do you know what
overrated.
I
I mean, it's got like 7s, didn't it?
I think
7s and
those
8s?
get-
No,
Eights
it got
and
it
nines,
got
wasn't
got nines mostly.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I don't think this is anywhere near enough. I mean, quite clearly, I'm not.
I mean, you're not very far in at all, like
No.
to the game. I mean, the thing is,
How long does it take to beat then?
I think it's
'Cause
about,
I've
isn't it
played
about
it for a
20
good
hours or
8
so?
hours, I think.
I think it's
Oh, right,
about
okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
And I mean, I've played a bit more than you've done. I've reached a point which I think is maybe a pivotal point, which obviously I don't want to talk about because maybe don't want to spoil stuff. But I mean, but then I also feel kind of the same in many ways because while I'm enjoying it. Because I mean, as I said to you like the other day, I was like playing it on the train on the way to work and stuff, and the journey's flying by. And I must be enjoying it, because of that, because I'm not even noticing the time or whatever. But then also there are aspects of it that you talked about last week that are beginning to irritate me. Which is I do sometimes just think I'd rather just hit these enemies and stuff rather than be spawning stuff, because the spawning stuff is fine, but it takes like a long time sometimes for them to like wind up their animation or whatever to do the attack, and you're just like, this is a bit annoying. Also, the other thing is like Zelda like herself is quite like the character takes damage really easily, and there's often times when you're in like quite confined tight spaces where it's quite easy to get wiped out like really quickly, and you're like,
Yeah, because even that, there isn't time or space to put a bed down. It's good that they've allowed you to put a bed down wherever you want, and you can get the hearts back up really quickly.
You get the smoothies and stuff, right? That's your health.
yeah, but then
The problem with the smoothie stuff, I don't know if you found this, James. There's two problems with the smoothie stuff. One, they go, have you got your ingredients for the smoothies? Yeah, here they are. Also, pay for it. I'm like, well, no, not also pay for it. I've got the things. The other thing that really winds me up is that it takes a good 30 seconds to get one smoothie. And what I want to do is go, make me 18 smoothies, please. But you've got to do them individually.
Do you know why do Nintendo always do this? Because
I
it was
don't know.
because it was the same thing with Animal Crossing. Do you remember? Like if you wanted to build something and you're like, look, I just want to build a ton of these. Can I just like say I want to build 10? And instead it's like, no, you've got to click on each one and you've got to do it one at a time. And it's just like, why? Like, what's the benefit there? Like, what are you?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't understand
I don't
that
get it.
at all.
And
Ben in the
it's
chat It says you can press the plus button to skip the animation. Does that
Yeah, but
help
you
that I
can't
really
create
got into
more
this
than one at a
stuff?
time.
Yeah.
So
No,
like,
but it
if I
doesn't take
wanna
30
go-
seconds. Yeah, is what you're saying.
It doesn't take 30 seconds.
Well, no, 'cause if you skip the animation, it's not.
Yeah,
I
but
did
I
one today,
guarantee.
it's-
I'd love to know when you skip the animation, does it fade to black and fade back in again, or is it just instantly on? Because I guarantee it does that fade to black thing. I can just see it.
I don't
in
know.
my
Taking
head
30
what
seconds.
that
I made
looks
one earlier, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
Look,
the
I
only way
don't-
to make one is annoying for sure.
I feel bad because I don't hate this game. I don't think it's necessarily a bad game. I just think it's for a game that is trying something so different to a normal Zelda game. I find it quite uninspiring so far, and that I'm kind of just going through the motions with it rather than actually finding myself lost in this world. And it's with a good Zelda game, you're excited about what's out there, right? And you're excited about what's around the corner. And there's been the two things that I think really hold this back. One being, you will find a cave and you'll go into the cave and it'll have a mini puzzle in it, and you're going, oh wow, this is, not everyone will see this because it's quite out of the way. And you do the mini puzzle and there's a chest at the end of it and it's got 10 rupees in it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you go, fucking hell, what is the point there? Like, what? Give me something exciting. Like, give me something exciting.
Maybe give you like an echo or something that you can't get somewhere else, or something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, like
something
a cool
which
echo
is
or something like that.
yeah.
And also the side quest stuff is shit. Like, it's really bad. Like, the conversations you have with the villagers that have. So when you're walking around a village or whatever, in 30 frames per second, you will see certain characters
20.
have like a little
30 tops.
exclamation
30
mark
max.
above their head. And if you go up, you talk to those, they give you a little side quest, right? But the side quest is usually like, go here, please, and you do that. And oh, could you bring this over to me? And you go, okay, I'll do that. And then here's
The
a
best
rupee.
one. The
You're
best
like,
one
what
is the
fuck
repeating like spawning of like, please can you show me this monster? And then it's just like you just have to like repeatedly keep spawning different versions of that monster in front of a villager. And I've done that I think 3 times now at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I mean, I'm sounding negative with this, but I have enjoyed kind of what I'm playing with it. It's just I don't see, because people are saying like, oh, after you've got past the 3 like sort of first dungeons, it opens up, becomes a whole bigger thing. But I don't really see how that's going to happen, because this is the thing. It's what you
Are
were
you
saying,
not
David.
past that point yet, though?
I'm just at that point. That's the point I'm
so
at.
maybe that's it then. Maybe that's it. Like, I'm saying it's not a 9. I don't understand the 9s. Maybe, like, I haven't played the full game, so maybe it does do that. Like, it's very possible that it does.
But I just can't see there being a moment like going into the depths or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like suddenly it's like, wow, this is actually
Something else.
there's something really different here. And
No,
Yeah,
but in the same regard, I was thinking God of War Ragnarok was like a 7 until I got over the wall, and then all of a sudden, all the stuff that it does after that, you go, holy shit, and you come out of it saying that could be Game of the Year. I think this has potential to vastly improve, but as with some of these Zelda games, not regularly. When I play Zelda games, I'm like, the intros can sometimes be frustrating because you want to get out there. I had that with Tears of the Kingdom a lot, where I was like, hey, yeah. Let me go now and let me do this. The intro to this has been really quite dull, and it hasn't set up the world in an exciting way. Feels like a condensed version of a Zelda story where the personality's been ripped out, and it's what type of character we are. We are having a problem with the rifts. Can you help us? Yes, you can. You helped us. Thank you. Like, that's what it feels like so far, and that's not fun.
And the other problem with the way that the progression works is that that like, because it's like open world to a degree, and that you can like attack those first 2 dungeons in whichever order that you want to. The problem with that is that's cool because it means you can go where you want to, but it also means that there's not like a difficulty progression there either. And I knew going into the second one, okay, this is going to be about the same as the first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, okay, I just need to get through this before I get to the next one. And that's
Right.
That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, do it. But also, I mean, the other big problem with this, I mean, item management in this game is dreadful.
Oh my god, yeah. Even though you can
absolutely
sort that massive long line, it's just it doesn't feel very
There
nice
must
to
be a
use,
better
does it?
way to do this than just like having like a
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously tested it, and
hotkeys.
Well, they've obviously tested it in development, but they for some reason found this as the best one. But yeah, it's just I know you can
wrong.
choose sort from the most recently used and most used and
They're wrong.
all that, but it's just
They're wrong. They should have hotkeys. You should be able to bring in your favourites into. I can think of loads of ideas that make it better, and I don't care how much you say that they've probably trialed it out and tested it out. No, they're wrong then, because the system they have in place is shit. It's crap. It's annoying to use.
I don't believe ever with Nintendo that when people say it, they must have worked out like what's the best system. Because again, I refer again, Animal Crossing. There's so much stuff in that game that
Surely
they could have
just like
refined.
A favourites wheel or something would have been a start.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Look, I'm going to continue playing it because I didn't know that there was supposed to be a point to get over. So I'll be interested to see what that is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing major coming out in the next couple of weeks for me. So I will keep playing that in the mornings and try to get through it. It's got the worst bit sound though, isn't it?
No, I quite like that.
It's like a flute.
It's not bad.
Oh no, I like it.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I am enjoying this game, but I've kind of flip-flopped. Like at the start, I was like, okay, new Zelda game. I'm really, really excited. And for that Zelda magic. And then after about like an hour or so, I was like, well, where am I with this? But I think now I've kind of recalibrated my expectations for what this game is, and now I'm just kind of like almost like turn my brain off, going around, killing the people and moving on. I'm kind of not expecting that Zelda magic, and maybe if it comes, that's great. But I'm kind of allow myself to just accept it is what it is. I mean, I also think for a Nintendo game, it just doesn't feel very smooth or intuitive. Like we discussed the navigation, but that just feels it's just a bit awkward to use. It takes its time, and then I don't know. I just feel like the control system doesn't really feel very intuitive for whatever reason. It just doesn't feel like a lovely, smooth, standard Nintendo experience in the way you experience the game.
Well, because it's probably not, right? Like the Nintendo team are working on the games for the next console.
Yeah,
this does
definitely feel like a side
games
Zelda.
This is a side, yeah.
But also, the biggest problem with that, and I think the reason why it feels that way, is because generally, in every single other Zelda game that we've ever played, your primary attack is like, you press a button and you swing your sword. That's what happens. In this, you don't do that. You have to go through a menu system first to decide what you're going to use, and then you have to like put it down, decide if you're going to do it in combination with something else. It requires a lot more steps. The immediacy is gone, from this, which is a different design decision
as well. If I've beaten a really powerful character, let me use that character a couple of times. But the fact is the way it works is that every thing you spawn has a price.
Yeah.
And you've got like essentially four spawn points, and the most powerful characters or the most powerful enemies cost 4 spawn points. And
this does change.
Yeah, I was going.
I'm
sure
sure it will.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will. And I've been increasing that, but it does feel like I want to do that now. I've just defeated this strong character. Let me use loads of them to just like my little crew that I'm rolling around with. Because otherwise, I'm spawning one and then watching it do its thing. Feels like I'm playing The Sims. It's weird, very strange.
In Dragon's Dogma 2, there's a class you can play as, which is all about. It's completely indirect. It's like you don't hit enemies. Well, you can hit enemies, but for very, very little damage. It's all about using trickery and illusions of enemies. Probably starting to sound familiar. And it's really interesting, but every fight, you meet some fucking orcs on the road or whatever, and you're just like, oh, fuck's sake. Like I can't just hit them. I've got like every fight becomes like they're interesting, but they're all long, and it makes the game so much longer that I never persevered with it. And I think this falls into that trap potentially.
Well, you just tend to run past them rather than engage.
Yeah.
I think when you're exploring, that a lot of the time you're just running past things. But
when I see like a new enemy to kill and then to get the echo, I'm not doing it out of like the excitement about what that echo could mean in terms of gameplay or creative opportunities. I'm just doing it just for like I'm just like ticking off a box and like busy work really. Like I'm still using trampoline loads, bed obviously loads, You know, like the dude
I
throwing the
wanted
spears, like the fire thing to like the fire
Yeah.
things. I'm using the same kind of 5 or 6 at the moment, and maybe I assume that will change as the levels progress and the world opens up, maybe. But yeah, I just I'm not like, oh man, what's this going to be? How's this going to change the way the game plays? It doesn't really feel like that to me yet.
And I think
I
that's
love
the
it.
problem.
I'd
Isn't
love
it?
it if they go. I'd love it if you find out halfway through. You know all the things you're spawning, Zelda. That's actually coming from somewhere. You're not just magic it like that is coming
Yeah.
from somewhere.
You're
And you
fucking
go
up
into
another
a
part of the
town and
environment.
everyone's like, "We've been sleeping on floors for a week now. We've got no beds here. You have to fucking stop spawning
We
beds."
build a new one. It disappears in the night.
There's all these fucking trampolines. They've just gone.
The kids are well pissed off. Like we just got one set up in the garden for them. Okay. Is that it? Anyone else got anything else to say before we move on?
Not until. Do you know? I
Good.
did forget something for the news though. Actually, I mean, it's just a quick thing, which was that like Alien Isolation. There's a second one of those in
Yeah,
the works
They've
now,
announced
which is
that
pretty
today,
cool.
haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Good.
That'll be VR.
Okay. I'm really excited to talk about a game, but first, James has finished Star Wars Outlaws, and I want to hear his final opinion on this game.
Oh,
I've finished it over this weekend, and I did end up having a pretty good time with it. But then I also did have that nagging feeling throughout, as we've talked about already, that the game really wasn't finished. It really felt like that. And although I mean the main missions and the story were like completely serviceable, and there's some pretty like really good, interesting moments in it. The biggest problem I had with it is that it has this syndicate system whereby, you have these different powers that you're kind of supposedly playing off against each other, but there's no like development. You don't really build relationships with these people like at all. Like it feels very, very sort of surface level. And the problem with that is that at no point did I ever felt that building the relationships really mattered, because
No, I didn't.
because what you can do is you can always retip the balance anyway, just by like by doing another mission. If you do something that pisses off the Hutts, it's fine. Later on, just go and do like a contract for them or whatever, and then you can restore it again. And I mean, I've seen people have managed to do it so that they have like excellent ratings with every single like faction. And it's like, what's the point then of this system? It really doesn't seem to, any sort of these sort of like moral decisions or anything you're supposed to be taking seem to have very little consequence. And
Although I did like pissing them all off. Like that was my aim, to get them all to hate me.
Yeah, I mean,
and that makes it really feel like you are you are like a proper Han Solo character out there.
I mean, I got it to the stage where the Pikes just absolutely loathed me, and they were just like attacking me on sight and just like chasing me on speeder bikes, all the stuff, and things like that, which was pretty good. But overall, that was the thing I was disappointed about, and it's just the mission design outside of the main quest not really varied enough, I don't think, or interesting enough to. I mean, I did some of the side quest stuff, but not very much because I didn't care enough, to do that. And like after I'd finished the main story, I didn't feel like I wanted to like go back in and think, I'm going to do all the other stuff now, because I just thought, well, I feel done with this. Like I really feel done with it.
The main story still feel good though, because
Yes.
I was really digging all that.
Yeah.
When I was into it. Yeah.
No, it's great. The main story I think is really quite good actually. I'd play it for that. I mean, I'd just mainline the thing honestly, because the other stuff doesn't really matter. Because I mean, the point of doing the side quests as well is you get cash, you get upgrades and all that kind of thing, which some of them are pretty useful, particularly the stealth stuff, because like how the balance for the stealth stuff at the beginning was really pretty terrible. It was like really punitive and not very fun. Once you've got some upgrades, that becomes much less of a problem. And by the end of the game, I was quite enjoying the fact that you could play it in a kind of Han Solo way of like, I'm going to go in and try and do the right thing, but then when I mess up, it's all going to go to shit, and it's going to be quite fun.
Yeah.
And I had that down by the end of it, which was quite good. But I mean, the other thing which I think really needed a lot more work was the ship combat, because that's poor. Like it's really not very good, the ship combat at all.
It's serviceable. I mean, not everyone wants to play a more. No, you're weird about Star Wars space stuff because you want it to feel like a spaceship that you're.
I want it to feel like it did in X-Wing and stuff like that. That's what I want it to feel
but
like.
they're not going to do that.
You're not going to go simulator, are they?
But
it's
more
not
arcadey approach. And
but it's not even a good arcade approach. I don't think it's not as good as like as things like Rogue Squadron and stuff like that. It's really not. Like it feels bolted on and doesn't feel that great. It just feels sort of underbaked, which is kind of a shame. But I mean, I still would probably say it's probably worth playing. You know, if you're just
What
going to
would you give
mainline the
it
main
if you were
story,
reviewing it?
probably a 7. I'd probably give it a 7.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
funny
what everyone gave it,
because-
really.
yeah.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was you after you'd completed Jedi Survivor,
Oh, really?
which you would also have given a 7.
And I'd
So-
I'd stand by that actually. Like I think that's probably. I don't think there's much between these games in terms of quality anyway. Like in terms of things like bugs and all that kind of stuff. There's maybe not much between them. And in terms of
Well,
main
what's the
story
better
as well.
game?
I probably still would say that Jedi Survivor was a better game. It
Only
felt
because
nice
it
to
saves
play.
you from a tattoo on your ass.
Well, that's true, yeah. But it also felt nicer to play. That game did. Like gameplay wise, it felt nice to play. Story wise, I'd say this is probably better than Jedi Survivor was. But the moment to moment, experience in Survivor was better. I would say.
Cool. All
you go.
right. So that tattoo is still happening. by
Yeah,
the
it
way.
is still
It's
happening.
just-
I'm eager to get
I
it
don't know
done.
if
Just
you've
haven't,
noticed.
we haven't. No, I'm still eager
Matt's
to get it
been
done.
busy.
I want to get it done this year so we can put a line under it. But
Do you want to do it this year?
yeah, I want to, just want to get it all done. Then
Okay.
we can
Well, there's
move on
not
to a new
much
bet
of
next
the
year.
year.
I know, but I
Christmas
don't want to drag on
soon.
for another year. It's just, I know.
James has got a flight. He's already flying over for an
I know I've
award.
got a book holiday again. I don't want to.
Okay, well, yeah, no, we'll see.
Probably next.
Right. So I know, Sean, you've got some excellent games written down, and we will get to those. But I need to talk to you about my weekend, which was the most fun thing ever. So I think it was Sunday morning. I was sitting there with Charlie, who's my 5-year-old, and he was, I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something on his Switch probably, and I went on the PlayStation store. And I was like, oh yeah, they do monthly games on the PlayStation that I subscribe to. So let me see what games are on there. And they had WWE 2K24. And I remembered the time we went to Butlins this year, at the start of this year, and we watched wrestling, and Charlie thought it was the greatest thing alive. So I just said to him, Charlie, do you want to play a wrestling game where me and you are tag team partners and taking on the computer characters? I don't think I've had that much fun playing a video game in a long time. We were up on our feet, shouting at the telly, going absolutely nuts, creasing up. Charlie picked up like one of the other wrestlers on the and then just threw him out the ring. And then because he didn't know what he was doing with the controllers, turned around and punched the referee in the face and knocked him out. Joe was watching and she was pissing herself. We were all acting like wow every time something happened. I've got a few right. Okay, I'm not a wrestling fan. And if you think that I'm going to be talking about wrestling on a decent level or whatever, I'm not. I don't. When I was into wrestling, it was the Ultimate Warrior and Jake the Snake and British Bull. Like
That was a good era.
right?
That's when I was watching it as well.
And then John will have a go at me for this because he had a go at me the other night for Sanders. But when the Attitude Era kicked in, all the people that I didn't like at school were telling me to suck it and to do that little diagonal thing next
crotch
to their
chop,
Let's go give
and
it
I
to
was
you.
like, this is the worst. This is the worst thing.
You weren't a
ever.
Jerichoholic.
I hated it.
That's why I started watching it.
But whatever. If you're into wrestling, I did like that's what you're into. And I'm certainly see the joy of it now that the kids are seem to be showing an interest. And I like the flamboyancy and the sort of ridiculousness of everything. I do dig that. And for some reason, I don't know how, but Charlie's obsessed with John Cena and he's never watched proper wrestling before. But he stood up straight away and started waving his hand in front of his face and saying, "You can't see me." And I was like, "How do you know what that is?" But I loved it. I really loved it. I was quite surprised at a few things. Firstly, how complicated the controls are, in terms of the mini games to get up when you're being pinned and stuff like that. And I go, "Oh yeah, this isn't aimed at kids. This is aimed at older people that play video games and wrestling and stuff like that." So that's annoying. I was fucking blown away by how much of the stuff is locked away. It's got so many wrestlers in there that I was like, oh, like Charlie was like, I want to be John Cena, and I was like, well, I want to be the Ultimate Warrior. Let me see if the Ultimate Warrior's in there because he was my favorite. And I went down. The Ultimate Warrior is in there, but they're locked. And I don't know if that's you have to pay for them or if you have to. I know there was that really annoying thing where if you bought the game, you also had to buy the season pass to unlock, most of the wrestlers and all this sort of stuff. People are saying the Ultimate Warrior is problematic. I don't know anything about wrestling. All I know is that when I was a kid, he was my favourite. So sorry if I've brought up something that we don't talk about. But what I want to know from listeners that play these games is two things. Is there a way of making this game easier for a 5-year-old to just pick up and muck about with, where there's one button to get out of being pinned, where it's less of a game and more of a, we just want to have this fun experience. Because that's what, No Mercy and all that was about. It wasn't so much about, hey, it's really challenging to try and pin or win the match. It was more of the back and forth and the silliness and the special moves and all that sort of stuff. And that's what I want. And if it isn't, what wrestling game can I get that does what I want? Because I know there was that sort of cartoony one. And was that good? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There was, what was it called? It was called like Battle of Legends. No, it was something Legends. WWE Legends or something.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
I don't know a lot about this stuff, and I saw how into it Charlie was, and when me, Harry, Charlie, and Joe were watching Charlie play, and we were all going absolutely nuts in our front room. I just thought, this is wonderful and I want more of this. And the fact that we were on the same team helps, that we're not fighting each other, so there's no winner or loser and stuff. We're sort of working together. And the fact that he can come in and just batter the ref, just honestly, I had tears in my eyes. We were laughing so hard when we were playing. So if anyone's got any advice that could steer me in the right direction with this stuff, where not everything's locked behind a paywall, or you have to do the career mode or whatever to unlock stuff. I wish in the olden days you could go you could go and put in a combination of buttons.
Yeah, it'd be like a cheat
it would
code.
Unlock them all.
Yeah.
It would just unlock them all. And even if the answer is this is the one, David, but you want to pay £20 to unlock everything, I got the game for free. I'll pay £20 to unlock it for sure. But I just need to know because I don't play these games. And one thing that I was thinking about, Sean, you've got a lot of friends that are into wrestling, right?
Yes.
Did you ever get into it, or did you just stop? What happened with you in wrestling? What?
I was into it a bit as a kid, and then went with a friend of the show, Chris Spann, to a Shikara show a few years. God, when was that? Probably more years ago than I'd like to admit. Which was really good fun. But I've just never, I really enjoyed it as a live event, but just never had an appetite for watching it and following it seriously.
Right.
On telly or whatever.
Yeah, it's not something that I've ever got into. Seeing how excited Charlie was makes me go, we need to be playing this game because it was so much fun. Honestly, we only played it for about maybe an hour, but we come out of it just absolutely buzzing, and I had stomach cramps where we were laughing so hard, especially when Charlie tried to come over and tag me and he smacked the ref in the face. I just thought it was so funny. And when I'm getting beaten up, he kept coming into the ring and I'm going, Charlie, you're not supposed to, you're gonna wait until I tag you. But he just kept rocking up to the ring and also battering the guy with me, to try and then walking back out again. It was the best. I had so much fun.
Yeah, you probably won't be interested in doing this because it's not playing the game. But I remember, kind of funny, a couple of years ago, I think there's a really massive, extensive creator character in this, and I'm very sure
we don't want that.
But no,
Yeah,
I'm very
we don't
sure
want
they what they did was they created loads of characters of gaming journalists and people on the team and other people, and I think you can basically get them. You can press play and they do a Royal Rumble themselves to watch who would win and stuff.
Full AI version.
Yeah. And basically, I didn't really watch it much, but basically they were commentating over the matches of just sort of it'd be I know Alana Pierce was on there versus Greg Miller, and they're like, oh my god, from the top rope, and I can imagine you, Dave, like creating a whole family and saying, like, hey Charlie, look at this, and like you guys
Actually,
can
that
watch.
does sound pretty
Like
good.
auntie and uncles coming in, oh my god, because it's all like it's. But I think it's the
Does
Royal
actually
Rumble
sound
mode.
pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a lot of time and effort, though, isn't
But
it?
but you can create all the characters, all your family, then just press play and see who wins the Royal Rumble. I think that's how it works. I don't know, but looks like it could be quite a lot of fun.
I just had a look at there's a season pass that unlocks like a whole bunch of stuff, including all base game WWE legends and additional arenas. That was one of the things, and there's all like DLC character packs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
as
that's the DLC character packs. What I want in the game are the ones that are already in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, isn't it?
That's what this does.
Oh,
Yeah.
how much is that?
I don't know.
600 quid. 600 quid.
6.
It says
How much is
unlocks
it?
all base game WWE legends.
Go on then,
Well, I've got to look it up now. That's annoying.
please.
Oh, yeah.
We'll wait.
don't do this because it's annoying.
All right, Sean. Well, let's.
I'll keep you updated when I found it out.
I've got a few to talk about. I think they'll mostly be brief. Space Marine 2. So I finished the campaign the other week, and then just last weekend, a couple of friends who've been playing it asked to do some co-op. So we did I mentioned when I talked about it last time. So you can co-op the main campaign, but then there's also these operations where you use like a custom character, and they're sort of in the same environments that you see in the story, but they're another team that was doing something else at the same time. And yeah, really fucking good. Quite hard at first. Took us a while to sort of tune into the difficulty of it. But I think once we sort of got our heads around, because there's different classes you can play as, mostly sort of fairly typical archetypes. Mine was like a close range specialist, so I have like a grapple hook, so I can pull myself towards enemies, which never got old. And like one of us was like a defender, he can put up a shield and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty standard stuff, but enough that you're like, oh, okay, we've got roles here. There's like, strengths we can play to and stuff. And once we got our head around that, it was really, really good fun. And yeah, and as I was saying, it's you are doing stuff from the campaign missions, but you are doing other objectives that when you were doing the campaign, you were aware were happening elsewhere. So as you're doing stuff, like it's like, oh yeah, shit, I remember. Like, so the guy Titus, the main character from the campaign, is like shouting at you over the radio to get something done. And you're like, yeah, I remember being him and shouting at the guy and being really fucked off that they hadn't done this thing yet, and now I'm the guy not doing the thing yet. It's really, really, really good fun. Because they've sort of made a point of like, yes, there's these missions and then there's PvP stuff, and you can, you earn currency to buy more colors for your armor and different bits and stuff. And they've been very like, it's not a service game. Like, we wanted it to feel like an Xbox 360 game in terms of that stuff. And I think that's fine, but the speed at which you unlock things is very, very, very slow. And it's not just, right, well, I want this color for my armor, I want like this emblem to go here, and I want these armor pieces. You have to like go to, like, the menu's really weird. You have to like go to so say there's a certain color you want. You have to go to the Space Marine chapter that has that color, and then first you've got to buy their logo, and then you've got to buy one of their pauldrons, and then what the color. Do you know what I mean? There's like, you have to buy the things in order. So that's quite annoying. You can't just sort of mix and match. But yeah, we had a really good time with that. It's apparently that game sold really fucking well. I don't know if you saw it. It's like,
well, I'd heard nothing but good things about it. I will end up playing it eventually at some point, because the co-op stuff sounds like too good. But
it's really, really good.
The problem is it come out in a really crowded area, didn't it?
Game of the So yeah, it's like the campaign's quite short, and I think they probably would have done more with it if they'd known. And they probably would have done more with the online stuff. Because as I say, I know they made this decision to not make it a service game, but they're probably now looking at the sales and thinking, oh, but imagine if we had actually. I don't know. But yeah, really good.
I was surprised because Edge gave it like a 6 out of 10, and I was kind of surprised because I heard I heard only good things about it, and then it was just like, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
So they gave Plucky Squire a 7.
Okay, right, yeah, that's.
I think, didn't they?
I know getting upset about review scores is a waste of everyone's energy, but fuck's sake.
Give Astro a 10.
Oh, well, there you go.
They did
That is
Stratton.
correct.
What else? Balatro it came out on phones a few weeks ago.
Is it 11 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
something like that. And I think isn't it on Apple Arcade as well?
Yeah, it's on Apple Arcade.
But can you buy it on Apple devices? Like, can you just buy the game outright still?
Yeah, you can buy it for
I
11
so.
quid, I think,
You can,
because I think
right.
that's what I was tempted to do, yeah. But
I'll do it, mate. It's so fucking.
Have you
good.
not played it, Matt?
yeah, I played it on Switch, just I didn't play
Okay.
extensively, but what I played I enjoyed, yeah.
Well, this is it
Such
because
a good
I
game.
played quite a bit on the Steam Deck, and then when I heard the mobile version was coming, I was like, right, I'm just going to wait for that. And yeah, really glad I did. It's so good playing it on the phone. The touchscreen interface is absolutely fine, works perfectly. It's quite nice with a game like this, like a roguelike or whatever, where you're forced to go back to forced to restart, and you're thinking, did I get better at this, or did I just unlock more stuff and sort of gained momentum that way? But yeah, playing it again, it's like, oh no, I did get better at this. Like I'm sort of
Oh, interesting.
past like where I was in terms of unlocking stuff on the PC version now, like quite quickly. And it's just been great. Like every time, like basically every night, go to bed, headphones on, podcast, and a bit of Balatro before.
You go to bed every
before
night?
sleep. Every night I can, yeah.
Big.
So often I'm out.
Yeah, probably.
The lads and that.
Not Clubland.
Have you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
that
play
one.
it? Have you got to play in landscape mode?
Yes. Which I'm all right with. I've had this argument with a few
Oh.
friends recently who think that holding their phone in landscape mode is horrific, and I'm like, why? What's wrong with that?
Because
does feel
you can't
alien.
do it one-handed.
It does feel a bit weird,
Think-
but
You have
Okay,
to have
I'm
it.
fine with
Yeah,
it.
I'm
Maybe
with
I've
your
got
friends.
big,
It's
strong
also
hands.
$9.99, Matt, not 11.
oh, yeah, okay, bargain. I'll get 2.
Oh, yeah, why not? So yeah, really enjoying that.
Excellent game.
God of War 2018.
Oh, come on.
Here we go.
Kidding me.
That
Finally,
Fuck.
David, we got him.
This game.
So Ragnarok's out on PC now. I've gratefully received a copy from a friend of ours. You know who you are. Thanks very much. But obviously I've not finished the first one. I've only played a bit of the first one. First, inverted commas. So I really want to do that. So yeah, I've been playing that. It's good, isn't it?
Have you? Because I know you said
Really
didn't you play it a bit on your Steam Deck when it came out and you
Yes.
stopped? Did you restart again?
No, I haven't restarted. I've carried on from where I was, which maybe I should have restarted because I didn't know any of the controls, and it is a surprising amount to get your head around again. But I'm there now, I think. What's been interesting is obviously,
Have you met the witch yet?
yes,
That
fuck
bit.
that whole bit.
Yeah,
Because
it's great.
like up to that point, you're kind of like, all right, it's all gonna be like snowy and shit. Okay, fine. And then you get to that bit, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, this is okay.
Oh
this
my
is-
god, you don't even know. You've just met a character that is so good and is such a. The first. Oh my god, the stuff you go through with that character is just brilliant.
Well, because this is
Yeah.
what's interesting is because initially I was like, right, I want to play this to get to Ragnarok, right? Whereas I've since seen a lot of people being like, maybe the first one's actually a bit better. Is that, I don't know if that's your experience.
I mean, second one, I think it's like the same thing with like the Tomb Raider series, where the second one is better in every way, but I just had more than.
I don't think it was better in every way. I think.
I think it improves on so many quality of life things. I
It
think it looks
does.
Right.
nicer and a bit
It
more
does.
varied. But the first one feels a bit more special. But the second one, the story is really good. I mean, they're both
Well,
really good, but
I would
there's more
say
layers.
the story in the story in the first one is better. The overall story in the first one is better.
Okay.
I would say the relationships with the characters they built on that to a point where they do some incredible things with the characters in the second game.
yeah.
They do some really, really brilliant things. And I think, look,
I think the story was there's more like development in the story in the first one, so that makes it feel exciting. But I think the second one is like the results of what's been set up in the first one.
Yeah, 100%.
feel
And there's
deeper and the impacts feel deeper. So I felt like that one's a bit more emotional for me. But yeah, no, they're both fucking excellent games.
and it goes in like, I mean, the second one, it goes in really good, like sort of unexpected directions, but
Yeah.
ways that you're like make complete logical sense and are really satisfying. It's great.
Oh, God,
I
it's
mean,
such a good series.
I couldn't be any less asked about the RPG stuff.
Yeah, you don't really.
Yeah,
need
there
to
is a
be-
lot
You'll
of
get
it.
to a point. you'll get to the point where so it's really intimidating to start with,
Mm.
and I think I said this about the first game.
Even
at the
in the
time,
second
where-
one, I was like, fuck, all these menus. But yeah, you get
yeah,
used
but
to
it's
it.
yeah. So I think about what I said about it at the time. When you first start, you're like, oh my god, you've got to upgrade everything, like every little thing, and you're
The
when you
handle and
upgrade,
the blade
yeah,
and-
yeah, exactly. It's like it's crazy, but then you will get to a point where you go, oh, it's not as complicated as it seems at all. Like yeah. So I was the same. I was like, I don't really care about this stuff. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've got a handle on this a little bit more. Let's look into it. And then you're like, oh, I've got loads of stuff that I can add. That's fine. And then from then on, then you start focusing on upgrading your character. But yeah, for a long time in that first game, I didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So
I think
I know exactly what you're saying.
Our old friend ludonarrative dissonance as well, because it's like you find a shop and it's like you can buy new clothes, and it's like, but we're wearing our funeral clothes because we're going to spread mum's ashes. So you wouldn't just be like, oh, actually, I'll just put this fucking red shirt on instead. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why?
So what you would have wanted, Sean?
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's and again, because initially I was just like, oh, I just want to get to Ragnarok. But then you play like an hour of God of War 2018, and you're just like, yeah, but why? Yes, I could have read this in a wiki, but fucking hell, like the spectacle and like the performances.
Yeah, it's way more satisfying.
Yeah. Like so I've met the witch, I've met the world serpent.
Awesome, that's
Fucking
great.
hell,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like,
that's
That's
really cool.
great. That sound it makes is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. Just the scale of it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I'm
Puzzles a bit shit, aren't they?
What? Sorry.
Puzzles are a bit shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
I never really liked the puzzles.
I always found satisfying lobbing your axe at those things that spun round and hitting all those in a certain
yeah,
area.
but
It
doing
felt
that every
satisfying.
5 minutes in a cave is
Well,
a bit annoying. There's a bit in the second one where it's that stuff is too much.
Well,
where you go, you know that area.
They
where
dial
I
things
was
up
like,
with that.
why am I doing this? I'm the god of war and I'm doing this.
Well, this is because that stuff was even more incongruous in the earlier games, right? Where he's like, "Oh, I'm Kratos, I'm fucking mad forever." Also, I'm gonna stop and do some sliding tile puzzles. But
I never played the original game, so I don't really know what they were
really?
like. But in terms of puzzles,
I mean, neither,
I mean,
actually.
they were good. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's certainly elements of them were problematic in hindsight, and I like what they've done with the character since. So I'm not like, fuck the old games or whatever. But yeah, the way they combine the puzzle stuff sometimes felt like why is Kratos doing this? This feels silly. Like,
are you playing with your Steam Deck docked or?
I can't wait for you to get through these games.
I've been playing this
We've got
on
so much
actual PC because it's one of those games that yes, it's verified on deck and it does run at 30 frames a second, but you just know you're missing out on so much, like visually, by not playing it on something a bit more powerful.
Totally. That area where you meet the witch. It's Freya, isn't it? It's Freya.
Freya.
Is Freya not Kratos' dead wife's name? She's not Freya.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, someone will correct us.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
I cannot wait for you to get through.
That was Faye. But yeah, go on.
Sorry, right, yeah. Chat saying that.
I can't wait for you to get through these games because there's one particular relationship that blew my mind. I thought they handled it so fucking well at the end of Ragnarok. It was not like anything I've experienced in a video game before. It was just perfect. Yeah, good game. All right, anything else?
Yeah, so I've finally played Steel Battalion, which, for those who don't know,
with not the real version, with the big
real version
controller.
with the big controller on the
Here we
Xbox. So,
go.
for those who don't know, this was an Xbox game. It was a mech combat game where the only way to play it is with this big fucking like series of like panels with all sticks and buttons and lights all over it, and it's the running joke is if you haven't got the instructions or you haven't, I assume there's a tutorial. I couldn't find it. You don't even know how to make the thing move, right? And so for context, so it was Isaac's birthday today. So yesterday we took him to Play Expo
Oh, happy
in
birthday,
Blackpool.
is it?
Because I thought that'd be a fun sort of birthday weekend day out, which it was. It was fucking great. We had a really good time. I really want to go like just with some mates one year and just like have a weekend in Blackpool. Blackpool is bleak as fuck, but a day of Play Expo, arcades and pinballs and stuff. Fucking go out for dinner, stay at a hotel, more arcades. I think it'd be right. I think it'd be wicked. Anyway, yeah, Steel Battalion was there. I was like, holy shit, I can finally actually play Steel Battalion. Now, they'd left the instruction manual out on the table, and like I was struggling, and Nu was like, "Why don't you check the instructions?" And I just picked it up and just like flicked through it and showed how fucking massive it is. She's like, "All right, fair enough." I couldn't get the mech to move out of the docking bay. I got as far as turn the mech on, close the hatch in front of me.
Yeah.
And then there's this like startup sequence, so you flick all these switches on one by one, and then you have to press this ignition button. As like these power levels are all sort of fluctuating up and down, right? And then you have to hit the ignition button when they're all above like a certain threshold. I was like, right, cool, done that. Throttle up, nothing was happening. Could not get the fucking thing to move. Could not figure it out. So yeah, that was my experience. Still, and when you sort of like, it's kind of funnier to just be like, yeah, I couldn't get the fucking thing to move, than to actually play it and probably be disappointed because I don't think it's meant to be like a brilliant game. It's just the novelty of the controller stuff. So yeah, that was quite fun.
I played that round out. Do you remember Outspaced on Romuck?
No,
Played it round his place.
I do
in
remember,
Balatro.
yeah.
He's just a guy that we used to know back in the day. If you, I don't know if you listen to Outspace, but if you do, I was thinking about you the other day.
Well, I was going to say, because I know Chris O'Regan's got all the kit, and he said I'm welcome to go around to his. Maybe if you can give me a tutorial, Chris, maybe we'll do that one day.
I remember making the legs move,
Oh, yeah.
but then just toppling over because I wasn't doing it properly. Yeah, it's good to have a story like that. Steel Battalion, man.
It's an incredible thing.
Time
it's lovely that it exists. Didn't they? They did a VR one, right?
They did, but it was
Wasn't
real
the same.
sort of like, it's not the same. You need the big controller with a little eject button where you can flip
that was
the
what's
thing
cool.
up
Like,
and then press that.
Didn't it have like a little glass thing over it? That you
a little plastic
so-
thing. You flipped it up and then
So the one at Play Expo, didn't have the cover on it. It was
shame.
So yeah,
I also really like the windscreen wiper button. I pressed that while I was in the docking bay. And that's what we've been playing this week. Should we do some questions?
Yes. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Push button Joe says, Dear TCGS, there I was singing along to a best of Shania Twain album, singing big when she sings big, singing sad when she sings sad, when a thought struck me. Why don't we get games inspired by or in conjunction with musical artists anymore? Omicron had David Bowie, Quake had Nine Inch Nails, Peter Gabriel appeared in about 100 weird PC games, Kiss had a whole Psycho Circus, Bombfunk MCs had a Wipeout clone, but the best you get these days is a Fortnite collab. Who would be your favourite musical act to design a game and what genre would it be? I'd be well down for a 3D platformer from the Insane Clown Posse. Think about it. All right. Much love, Joe. It's a good question. Why is that not a thing? Because, we talked about TV shows and films based on games and how they've broadly improved and how that's probably because people making TV and movies grew up with games and understand them a bit better now. But the whole, musical collaboration stuff seems to have fallen by the wayside.
It's a shame because we will never have the Motley Crue doing the Tribes theme tune ever again. That's what upsets me the most.
Tribes, Tribes.
The
one I always remember from this is there was that game that came out I think it was the early 90s it was called Revolution X, which was like it was a light gun shooter game that was starring Aerosmith. And
I remember that.
It's maybe dreadful, right?
And it looks awful. Like you look at it and just think, I don't know why anybody thought this was a good idea. It looks terrible.
I'm surprised it wasn't more Kiss video games.
Mm.
I'm looking at one now. There was one in 2000, Kiss Psycho Circus: The Nightmare Child. I don't remember. Maybe Ian, if you're listening, you've got to play that. You've got to stream that. Yeah, I did. I'm surprised there's not a bit more Kiss ones, but I can't think of a musical act that I want anywhere near my video.
I mean, it's already been done, isn't it? I mean, Crisscross, obviously. Make my video.
Gonna make you. What are they gonna make you do? Make you jump.
Jump.
What do you mean crisscross? They had their own game.
Yeah, wasn't it the Crisscross Make My Video?
Crisscross make my video.
Yeah,
I don't remember this.
I'm sure there was a
My
game called
video.
that.
Why
Or
are
am I
you
just?
saying this? No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Crisscross make my video.
Yeah.
Fucking. I love the way you casually said that, like we would know
As if
what.
we all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, we know that one.
It's marginal. I thought it was famous. Never mind. Okay.
Good shout,
Yeah, for
actually,
you.
Scientologists in the chat. Def Jam Fight for New York was incredible because it was basically just a new THQ wrestling game.
Yeah.
The most recent one I remember, and I really enjoyed, was that Radiohead kind of museum piece.
Yeah, that
was
doesn't
fantastic.
count.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
count.
it
It was really good.
Well, why doesn't it count as like a musical collaboration in a game? It's not like a full-on hardcore video
It wasn't
game,
a
but
game, was it? You were just walking around.
it was an experience. It was a walking simulator. I thought that
I'm
was really good.
surprised we didn't see more things like that. But then I suppose
Yeah.
it was one of those that if you played that sort of mid to late COVID, and then we're like, well, it's going to take us another 2 years to make another one of these, and everyone will be outside
Yeah.
by then.
But that was great. I'd like to see more of them. But
The
Yeah, yeah.
Spice World game. I remember that. Spice World.
Well, Ben in the chat
Spice
saying
up
it had a nudie unlock.
that's
No,
not-
you fell for
that's-
an April Fool's there.
yeah, clearly didn't.
That's
Come on,
unfortunate.
sicko. Mexico
those-
pervert.
this
When you say
absolutely-
nudie unlock Scientologist, you mean you downloaded a patch?
Yeah, he cracked
Well,
it.
Mike gave me a copy of it. This does not count at all, but there is a Billie Eilish song called Elo Milo, which is a game. And she said it's because of the game. She really enjoyed it.
Okay, so half the work's done. Now get a
Yeah.
Billie Eilish game.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't know. Is it just one of those things that there's no way of doing it without it seeming a bit cringe? I mean, the David Bowie and Omicron stuff is fascinating, and I know I've talked about this before, but it bears repeating because I think it's hilarious. In that David Bowie did the Omicron soundtrack, and then later released an album which has some very similar tracks on it. And I, was like, and I remember hearing those album tracks and being like, "Oh, right, so he must have just done the album and then they repurposed it for Omicron." It's the other way around. It's the other way around. They paid David Bowie to write a fucking album of Omicron songs, and then he just basically kept the rights and was able to just change the lyrics and released it as his own fucking album as well. It's incredible.
That's
What about what about Paul McCartney's Destiny song?
Oh shit!
Oh
That
yeah,
was bad, wasn't it?
I don't remember this.
you can do it right now, please, Master Chief.
You don't remember this? Oh, the video for it's even worse,
Yeah.
where he's like a ghost, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he's singing. Yeah. Oh God, James, you've got to see it.
This
It's
sounds
so
like
bad.
one of those things that you would have told me when we did that not E3 stuff.
I don't know.
You know,
I
it's
can't
just
believe
like-
you don't remember this, James.
I don't remember this. I need to look it up.
It
Yeah.
was really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad.
And how
Alright.
are we still getting that wrong now? Do you know what I mean? That wasn't that long ago that we can be like, oh, it was the fucking 90s or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean?
I
Very strange.
suspect the people they're turning to and paying a lot of money to promote their stuff don't really give a shit about video games as much as we do. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the answer, isn't it? Tribes. Diddle-a-ding, tribes. 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 Next question.
Rascal Fist says, hello chaps, I was in a high street news agent and noticed the range of gaming magazines has just fallen off the face of the earth, which made me sad. I loved the quest for a new magazine when I was younger. I loved it when new titles came out with a new console release, and it seemed there was something quite magical about each month when a new issue was out. Now that's all fucked with podcasts, YouTube, blogs and tweets. Blogs?
All right. Blags.
My question to you all is, what did you read back in the day? What are your memories of gaming magazines, and do you even miss them? P.S. Let me be clear, though. I love new media, and I think we are better off with it. Maybe I just miss the smell of a rack of magazines and my youth.
We've already sort of spoken about this, but
We did a
the
bit,
ones
sorry,
that stick
yeah.
out for me really were PC Gamer. When I was in that phase, I was just used to love PC Gamer.
Yeah,
Games
I saw
TM,
that.
I was a PC
because I
format.
thought I saw it as. It's really funny when you talk about Games TM. They always seem to say, "Oh no, it's trying to rival Edge," but it felt like the anti-Edge Like it never took itself that seriously, and
I
that's
think
what I loved
when
about
people
it.
say that, what they mean is they took one look at it and went, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
this is designed nicely like Edge."
Exactly, it's like another
yeah.
premium games magazine. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a Games Master with like a poster and a free badge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what.
yeah.
Oh, it's like Control Mag.
Don't knock the free badge.
Yeah, I mean, I bought
Posters.
Games Master in my time, but you know, like, do you remember Control magazine? That was another one. It was like, oh, it's like an Edge. It was just like, again, like another nicely designed, bit more of a premium magazine on the
I
store
think
shelves.
my favourite of all time though was probably it's hard to call it my favourite of all time, but like I love like N64 magazine and stuff like that, right? I
That's really
love
great,
those
yeah.
magazines. But PSM2 was the first time that I cared about the people writing for the magazine. Like whereas when you were a kid and you were reading N64, you were like, I'm gonna read the articles and I'm gonna get excited about the games. PSM2 was the first one where I was like, I love the people that are writing this. They're funny. They seem like they get on, and that was only helped by that DVD with the commentary over the top, you know, that sort of stuff. Oh God, I love that magazine.
That's why I like to like PC Zone, because I used to buy that like quite frequently, like
same.
because that had also like a pretty good like crew of like writers on it. I mean, I bought so many magazines over the years. Like I mean, like Game Boy Action. No one will remember that. That was like the first one that I had a subscription to. I think when I was like about 11 or whatever, and it only covered the Game Boy, which, you know, until Pokemon came out was, you know, there wasn't much in that magazine, but you used to get it every month. There was like, you know, there was Total, Super Play, all that kind of stuff. Meme
Total
machines.
was
But yeah,
was
but
very
PC
formative
Zone-
one for me.
What was that, sorry, Sean?
I say Total was a really formative.
Total's really good, yeah. No, PC Zone, yeah, I still love that too. And like Jamie Sefton, do you remember Jamie Sefton, the editor? Like I talk to him like, well, or at least once or twice a month, because he runs Game Republic. It's like a big network for like game studios, mostly in the north. But yeah, he's great. He's constantly got stories about his old PC Zone days. He did like an amazing talk. This is probably like 2010 now in like Leeds, part of like Leeds Digital Festival, where he talked about his old days on PC Zone. Yeah, Jamie's brilliant, and I love the magazine. Even though I guess I was building my PC then, so I was into it more than consoles maybe at the time. But yeah, PC Zone was just an absolute class magazine.
Do you know what you know what I like doing? I like googling the you know, the name of the magazine and just looking at some of the covers and just thinking, I remember these. Like I really remember these covers because you would stare at them.
Yeah.
It's because it was an event as well, wasn't it? Every month it was like an event when these came out.
My
because
God,
you're
yeah, I
like,
was so excited for the new issue. I mean, we've said this 20 times, but yeah, like knowing, oh, it's out on the 28th, and I'm like, if I'm 26, so I like go into all the various news agents, will it come out early? And it's like, oh, it's out a day early, it's amazing. Like the adrenaline I had when I found like the new magazine was out, the new issue was out, I loved it. Absolutely loved it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
looking
also,
at,
like-
I'm looking at a front page of N64 magazine, and it was, I could tell you when it was. It was, it does say on it, I can't see it now, but it was silver, and it had Mario. It's like a really weird, like, image of Mario on the front cover, and you just think, I remember holding it. I remember holding that magazine.
do you
Issue
know-
1. Oh, that was issue 1. Shit, April 1997.
God damn.
I remember
Wow.
that with like a particular issue of Total, which was like that, which was like, I think it was a silver background actually with like Link on the front of it, and it was just like, I remember
Yes,
seeing it like
I know what you mean.
one of my mates in class had it, and I was like, that looks fucking amazing. Like, it's just-
Right, I'm certain I've told this before, but so God, this must have been when I was in my sort of mid-20s. There was a friend of mine, and she's like, "Have you ever read any Danny Wallace stuff?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you should," because she'd read some of my stuff, and she's like, you sound like you've read way too much Danny Wallace stuff. Basically, you sound a lot like him." I was like, "Oh right, okay, whatever." And then looked into him. I was like, "He looks familiar." And then basically through a series of clicking through Wikipedia entries or whatever, realized like years ago he was one of the staff writers on Total. So he used to review SNES games and stuff, and later became famous author / humorist / radio presenter, etc. And obviously that has had an effect on me and the way I write and stuff. Like it's just really interesting. And I still remember because he joined the magazine when they got a Virtual Boy, and they did this whole thing where they put shoe polish on it, and then he had to go on it, and then he had the lines on it.
Banter!
It was hilarious at the time.
I loved Official Sega magazine. I still think Steve Key and Gary Cutlock who were like the writers at the time.
UK
I
Resistance,
remember
big up.
going to, I'm definitely repeating myself, but fuck it, going to ECTS, European Computer Trade Show in probably like 98, 99, and seeing Steve Key and the gang, and I really wanted to go over and say I love the magazine, but I didn't, because I was 16, I was wearing a suit because I thought that's how you had to get into these things with Matt Morley. Yeah, like Sega magazine, Saturn magazine, obviously like DC UK. I loved Games TM and obviously Edge, and yeah, I used to go to like Board. Maybe Board is like a shop where you can get like foreign magazines and get like foreign versions of
Borders,
EGM, or even like the foreign version of Xbox magazine, or the US version of Sega magazine, or CVG, Mean Machine Sega. Oh man, those were so bloody
Good
good.
times.
I mean, PC
Good
Zone as well.
Official Saturn magazine, forget about it.
I know it's an obvious one to go for, but obviously Charlie Brooker's stuff in PC Zone.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that being a lesson in, like, I don't agree with most of what this guy says. I'm not actually sure he knows that much about games compared to some of the other writers, but fucking hell, he's funny. And that was a reason to read his
Yeah.
stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter that, like, you know, you'd read some of his stuff and be like, why is he just kicking the shit out of this clearly all right game? It's like, oh, because it's funny. But yeah.
But Sega
Nice.
Power fucking sucked.
Okay.
I was Future all the
Right,
way.
well,
Like, what was the other publishing house? Is Future or the other one? Who Imagine?
Hang on. Did you say Sega Power? That sucked.
Yeah, I
That
think
was Future. I'm pretty certain.
Well, no, wasn't that was the Imagine one, wasn't it? Hang on,
No, I don't think so.
Sega
There
Mag.
was Europress Impact. They were one of the other big publishers. I think that might have been earlier than then, though. I think that was in the 8-bit days. I'm not sure.
Yeah, fuck Sega Power.
Okay, next
Moving
question.
on.
Oh, yeah, that was Future, but anyway, fuck it anyway.
Okay. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Cautious Gamers, let's talk about protection. I was at a friend's house recently and she still had the film over her 8-bit DOS Switch controller buttons as if it was recently unboxed. Turns out she owned and used it for over 4 months, but did not want dust to get in. What is the longest you've left any protective accoutrement on your gaming hardware? Keep up the wonderful work. Sincerely, Maria. I
Never do it.
Never do
Shit
that.
comes off.
Rip it straight off.
immediately.
Straight away.
That stuff is there for when it is in transit,
Yeah.
not for once it's
Yeah,
reached your house.
That's one of the most satisfying things you can do when you get something new, like a new bit, like pulling those. Oh, that's part of the experience, opening it up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not
100%.
for me.
Yeah, get that stuff off. Sam
Sorry,
Saute
Maria,
Pan.
not the answer you were after there, was it?
Yeah, normal. Maria's questions are always good, but they normally generate quite a bit of discussion, whereas that was a very, very open and shut case, wasn't it? Sam Saute Pan. Hello, lads. It's me again, the guy who said he'd put his thumb on the scale for Star Wars Outlaws. James, your check bounced, so if you could send that over again, I'd be grateful. All jokes aside, I have a son who is turning 5 this month, and he's just not grasped the idea of video games at all. Doesn't really seem to understand moving the stick moves the character. All this, despite being able to read the text on the screen so well, I cannot play JRPGs in the living room anymore. So how old are your kids, and when did they start enjoying games? Do you have any recommendations for starting them out? It's an interesting
Yeah, I've got
one, 'cause
recommendations.
Go on, sorry.
My kids started quite early, I think, from about 3. I mean, it's easier for Charlie because Harry plays,
Yeah.
so Charlie's got more of an interest. Harry, yeah, I suppose Harry did start later, probably about 4 or 5. But recommendations for me are always things like Burnout Paradise was the first game that Harry loved because he could crash cars and then it would automatically put the car back in the middle of the road for you, and stuff like that. So yeah, racing games are always good for stuff like that. But the first game he properly fell in love with was probably like on a level where that I wasn't getting involved was Super Mario Odyssey. That was the one for him. He loved it.
Yeah, I think for Rachel it was Mario 3D World. That was the first one where she actually kind of got it and started to push things around, and we really dug that. And yeah, I think Odyssey was probably the same for Asher.
I've talked before about people who claim their child is playing a game, but actually they're just kind of messing around, which is fine. They're not actually playing it, but people sort of pretend, or they let you assume that they are. So, like, basically, don't feel weird if your kid's playing, like, a Mario game or whatever and just running into walls and getting killed by... Like, that's fine. It's still part of learning the language. I mean, it may just be that your kid just isn't into games, and that's fine. Like, it's probably a good thing, to be honest. But, yeah, like, Isaac's the opposite in that he's learned to play stuff, but he was behind on his reading. So like something like Animal Crossing, he'll really want to get into, but actually it's fucking tons of reading. So it's just like, nah, not doing it.
Well, Animal Crossing was probably Elodie's first big game, and like, I think that did help her with her reading actually, because that obviously dropped in lockdown, and so we're at home a lot, and yeah, like that's the first game that she probably got used to dual sticks and controls in that way. Before she played little bits here and there, but couldn't really get a hang of it. But Animal Crossing was the one for her for sure.
I think like
also,
overall the trick is to let them play around and not put any pressure on them.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously you will be surprised by how many games you think don't have much pressure, but to a 5-year-old they really do. Like when you've never played a game before and your Mario and a Goomba's coming at you, they will freak out sometimes. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Ah, fuck! Like, yeah. But obviously to us, it's like, well, you just jump on it, obviously. So there'll be stuff that does freak them out that you're like, oh shit, I didn't really think of that. But basically, yeah, just let them experiment and don't pressure them.
But also, yeah, I mean, they come to it at different times because, like,
Yeah.
Rachel came to it way earlier than Asher did. And, for quite a long time, I was like, I don't think he's going to be into games. He doesn't seem bothered, like, at all, like, by them. And then, yeah, by the time he was about 8 or 9, it was suddenly he was really, really big into them as like a thing. It takes time sometimes.
Yeah, Elodie played bits, but it was Animal Crossing, and she was 7 then. So yeah.
Like Isaac's. So one of Isaac's birthday presents is that I've sorted out his Switch account, so it's like a proper account now. It's not just a profile on the Switch. So previously my Nintendo Switch Online stuff was through friend of the show Cammy Tobin. I was part of his family. I was one of his children. I was on his family account. So now I've like bought my own code for it so that Isaac can have his own, because Isaac needs his own Splatoon character, even though he can use mine whenever he wants and has completely customized it and changed the name on it. And it has most of the stuff unlocked. He's like, no, I don't want to have to go on your profile. I want my own profile. It's like, okay, I'll spend £45 so you can do that. Happy birthday. But yeah, that whole thing is a faff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because I went on the Switch. I was like, right, I want to make this profile like its own Switch account. It's like, okay, here we'll send a link. Give us an email address. Okay, get an email. Right, click that. Do all this stuff. Obviously, you put the date of birth in, and I messaged you guys, didn't I? It was Metal, Dave and James. I was like, what do I do about the date of birth? Because I've got a horrible feeling that declaring that he's a child will make Nintendo go, okay, well, he's not playing any online stuff then, is he? Like,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, well, there's that, and also, they've got, there's the annoying stuff with Nintendo, but they also do have a responsibility to make sure they're playing stuff
this is it. Yeah, so I put his actual date of birth in, and then it was like, no, you're doing this. Like, you need to make this a child account from your account, right? I was like, okay.
Yeah, I started to do with Elodie, yeah.
Yeah. So then I went through that process. It actually wasn't too bad in the end.
I mean, the parental control app they have is pretty good. I think
really good.
Yeah, pin and see how much they play and stuff. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
and you can totally customize it as well.
Splatoon, for example, is Peggy 7, so I think by default they would not let.
I think you can override that. Can't you? You can whitelist.
You can.
Stuff.
Yeah, you can
request.
Yeah, I think you can replace it. Yeah, it's just really frustrating.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking of profiles and setting up profiles and stuff. I'm preparing my apps and everything to play on the Quest when it arrives next week.
Oh yeah.
And, oh God, I've deactivated my Facebook account so many times yet. Just because I want to play on the Quest, it's like we're gonna log into Facebook then if you want to carry on.
Well, but I mean, you can move over to a Meta account now, can't you?
Yeah, I did, but then I think I fucked it up. So I need to look at that and see if I can unlink it from Facebook because it's killing me.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't want that Facebook account active anymore. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. And the worst thing though, Sean, is the game management stuff. So if he's got his own Switch, then
well, he did have, and then he dropped it in the fucking toilet, didn't he? So we're just sharing now.
So you're sharing, so that's not too bad.
Which is partly why I've not played as much Zelda as because it is surprising how much of a barrier that is when I'm just like, oh, but Isaac might be halfway through something and I can't be asked.
Oh, of course, yeah, because it would kick him out, suspended.
But I also don't know what to do, because this is the other thing. So Nu was like, oh, well, do we maybe get him another Switch at Christmas? And I was like, well, no, the new one's coming out. And she's like, I don't know that because I'm normal. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry.
What do you mean you don't know?
Yes,
I
No.
was like, yeah, the new one's out early next year, so no, I'm not buying him another Switch Lite. But then we're still in this awkward position of Joy-Cons are fucked, pretty knackered now. But I don't know. I can't be asked buying new ones if they're not going to work in the Switch 2, etc.
I'd
I
see
would
if
just
I had any
get-
more
I'd just
spares
get
in my
some-
drawers, but I can't. I don't think I've got.
Get some of the Hori ones, the ones that you just plug in. Do you know what I mean? It's
I probably will actually. Yeah, the Split Pad Pro, the
Yeah,
newer ones
they're-
they
they're-
did that
they're
look
fine.
a lot less shit. Shut up, James.
Isaac will see them and be like, "What the fuck are these?"
Throws it out. I'm going to
Yes,
throw this one
like-
down the fucking toilet as well.
we should probably wrap up here. We've been going on for ages.
Yeah, sorry. There's more questions.
Felt like
now,
we started
good,
this
but I'm
podcast last
tired.
week.
Yeah. It's nearly 1 a.m. James time.
It is
so
indeed.
Matt, socials.
Yes, we stream on Twitch. We're streaming this very podcast on Twitch right now, actually. But if you've got an Amazon account and a Twitch account connected, we get something called Twitch Prime Gaming. With it, you get 1 free sub every month. You can give it to any channel you want. Why not give it to us? Because we do. Despite what I said maybe in the pre-show, we do appreciate everyone who does support us on Twitch. So thank you to everyone who does that. Speaking of our streams, we do. Well, I say we, like one of us. Who's streaming it? I mean, James, you're streaming, right? You're the
Sometimes,
streamer.
James.
I've done
Anyway,
it for weeks, but I need to
If you
do it.
want to see what
Keeps
we're
saying that
streaming
he's
when we're
gonna do it on
streaming,
Friday, and he never does.
yeah,
I just
you're
can't.
the last boss of Dark Souls, aren't you?
I know, I just can't
Free?
bring myself to do it because I know it's going to be irritating. But I will do it.
It's not too bad, is it? Last boss of Dark Souls 3 is not
Yeah.
too bad. I seem to recall.
I nearly did it like when I was doing it last time. I was just, I just can't be bothered. I will do it. I'll do it.
Okay, well, we're not streaming at the moment, but if you go to twitch.tv/TCGSCO or search for us in the app, you can find our channel. You can follow us and get a notification when we go live, at least for the podcast. If you miss a streams, you can go on YouTube, search TCGS, and you can see the VODs of our streams and all the podcasts. We're on Patreon, which is patreon.com/TCGS to support what we're doing over here. Get exclusive monthly bonus podcasts, talks overs, you name it, or just to give us some money because you think we're doing great stuff. The website is tcgs.co for links to our store, gorgeous Discord community, podcasts, you name it, it's all on there.
And thank you so much for living it. We will be back next week with even more video game chit chat. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Fuck off.
There's a weird gap there, isn't there?
Bye bye.
Goodbye.